Yeah, welcome everyone, clobberers and trekkers and trekkies and trekness and trekoids and stuff. I don't know where I'm going with that, but welcome everyone. That clobberin times. Oh, that too. Oh, I always step over it. I'm so sorry.
No, I
You've
love
never.
it. I do it up like that on purpose because I love it. It's just like
Welcome to we everyone. I can't do it just as it goes. Saturday night Star Trek here on. Let me see. Front. No, it is Saturday night too. So what a coinky dink. It's Saturday night. Hello everyone. Welcome to Clobberin Times issue number 30 something or other on YouTube and 1000 something or other overall. I can't see it anymore because now with that extra digit added, I don't know. It doesn't tell me what number it is. It's something's changed. I don't know what to think now. Oh my goodness, where are we? Oh my god. Oh dear.
I like how
We
the number of people present in the chat has gone from 47 to 42 to 26 to 30 to 0 to 10 and now 21.
that's what I'm not seeing any of that. Well, it's not looking that way to me. It's not jumping around at least from my end. I'm not looking at it outside there though. So let's see. Bop, 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 bop. Listen, I'm writing some names down so we can say our hellos and everything, everyone. I'll make sure we get my chat up to speed so we may continue. 106, 1006. Thank you, Pleasant Valley. Well, there we go. Now I've got my chat moving to the normal spot, I believe. Well, hello everyone. It is good to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight on Clobber Time Saturday Night Star Trek. The show where we review real Star Trek. We're gonna do it. All 735 of them babies.
We are.
Yep.
This is
Good
the
deal.
735 Club.
Yes, indeed. And we got
Mazers just said YouTube just censored him. Mazers is one of the most
really.
mild mannered people
Hmm.
on the internet. So it must be something weird in the algorithm that tripped you up there, Mazerus.
Wow. Sorry about that, Mazurus. We have no control over that. I mean,
No,
obviously, if someone on one of our people did it, I guess I wouldn't know from here, but I assume it must have YouTube will do that to you. So I would never do that to you. None of our wrenches would do it. I mean, sometimes the algorithm will get hung up about some word. Sometimes it's just crazy.
yeah.
So anyway, but before we get started tonight, folks, as always, I would like for my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, to tell us a little bit about her wonderful works of science fiction and where you may find it. So while you're doing that, I will continue to write down names and get all our friends together.
Okay, Captain.
Go for it, number one.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showcasing my work and for helping me in this way. It's difficult to get your work out there when you're an indie author, and I don't have a publisher. So I really appreciate you using your space
Nothing to it.
to help promote my work. I really appreciate that very much. So for the folks at home, I humbly write some little short stories. I'm putting together a short story collection. They're all science fiction. They're in the vein of H.G. Wells and Edgar Allan Poe. I've been a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe my whole life. You can get them on your Kindle device. All you have to do is type in R.M. Briggs, or you can go on Amazon and you can download them on any device. And I think they're only around 75 cents US and 99 cents Canadian. And I sure could use your support. And I definitely love and read every single one of your beautiful reviews.
Well, there you go. And yes, please, everyone, there is the link right there. And oh, look at that. We have a super chat already, so we'll get to that one second. Well, thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. We'll get to it now, so we'll get that out of the way there. Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you so much. Happy 735 Club Saturday. You beautiful nerds, you. You're a beautiful one now, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Tickle Trunk. It is really
Yeah.
appreciated. You are too kind, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.
A wonderful
Um,
friend to this channel and to this show. We appreciate you so much, and I'm looking forward to your company this evening. Always great comments and welcome. And yes, thank you very much, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
yes, yes, indeed. Now, quick show note, everyone. Let's see here. Whoop, making sure I'm getting some of my stuff out of the way there. Let's see. Okay, show notes. But finally, I keep saying I'm going to do them. I don't do them.
Dun, 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 dun.
That too. Monday night, Moxie Comics Talk at a special time. I will be joined by the great Stone Loki. We will review Justice League Doom, the DC animated film. And so
Boom.
I'm looking forward. This is a great one here, folks. And Loki and I will be analyzing this one. It'll be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, comics fans. And even if you're not a comic fan, if you're just you like superhero stuff and good animation, that is an excellent one. And so, yes, that is the each month, Loki and I like to review a DC animated film that involves either Batman or Superman or both and other things. So that is what we will be doing Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk at a special time, 7 p.m. Central. All right, let's see what we got here. What we got here is a failure to communicate. Sorry. Can never resist that quote. Okay, all right. It is hello time. And first we will start off by whoever got here first, and that was the Comic Relief Crusader. He did say he popped in here first anyway.
Oh.
Even though it was yesterday.
Well, he's got first dibs.
Yeah, I mean, well, you said it, I think it was like very early, but yes. Wow.
Well,
okay.
you got to think about it this way, Captain. If you really love your teacher and you take an apple on Sunday and put it on the teacher's desk for Monday, you definitely got to get the props from the teacher. I mean, Comic Relief Crusader played his cards expertly.
There he goes. Well, there he is. Good. And so, hail there, Comic Relief Crusader. And of course, as always, a big shout out to our great crew that we have here. Not just my wonderful first officer, Commander Briggs, but also the great Monarch D with a C, Chief Engineer, and our wonderful communications officer, Anti-Derivative Jill. Jill, we love you. We love you, Jill. All righty then. So also with us this evening is the great wrenchers, the bronze surfer himself, Eric K. Great to see you there, buddy.
Hello.
And the great Chris Persia, our great Canadian wrench.
Hello.
Good to see you there, brother. And of course, another great individual who's a wrench and just an all-around great fellow. And he should be chief of security, but we wouldn't put him to we're not just make him take the job. It's up to him. The great Lord Thoth. He is a warrior.
LT.
He's a warrior.
And possibly Mrs. LT.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Evening, LTs. We love you.
Also, wonderful wrenches who are here are the wonderful Felicianos.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dolphin TV. Raymond and Sandra. Good to see you, my friends. I hope
King
you had a great
Dolphin
stream.
TV, go sub it, go hit your notification bell.
Yes.
These two the most romantic wrenches on the internet. These crazy kids will inspire you and have created such a great sense of community everywhere. So please support our wonderful Felicianos.
Indeedishness. And also with us tonight, what a great crowd we have here. So many wonderful friends. Your Muslim uncle. Hello there, my buddy.
Hey!
Peace be upon you. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome.
And your family.
And your family. I hope you were doing well, buddy. He was here earlier. I don't know if you're still here, but J-Man, brother. Always great to see you, my friend. You're the man. The J-Man, that is.
J-Man, love you.
Our fantastic friend Steve Mitchum is here. Hey, bro.
Hey,
Great. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're feeling better, brother.
Yes.
We're just so happy to see you, man.
Do you see this request, Captain?
No.
Mr. Tickletrunk says, "May I vote? Can I vote for myself to be the sleazy bartender in 10 forward?"
You got the job. Boom. There you go.
I think so.
Perfect for the job. There you go. So what? Thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk. You are hired, sir. D. Bud Martin, brother, what's up, man? I'm iron.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hello there, J25. Welcome to good to see you again.
Evening.
Welcome, Mark Lerseth. It is a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Pleasant Valley Picker, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Hey, BC, welcome.
Indeed, Phantom Outsider, brother.
Ooh,
what up, man?
Outsider.
The Phantom Outsider. Let's see here. Hungry Boy, what is up? with your cool vibes. The great. Why? Listen. What is this numb plum tonight?
I don't know. It's always something really good.
I gotta find it. I can't. I don't. I know he has a new one, a different one. Next time I see it, I'll shout it out.
No matter what it is, we love you.
I always write "Hungry Boy," but I know he's got it. Makes it easy, man. I'm sorry, I'm lazy. Let's see. He'll probably tell us if he heard it.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says, "Be right back. I'm just oiling Guinan's rifle."
Oh. Let's see here. Cal L. Buddy, Super Bud.
The real
Super Bud. Best. I like to try to do it the Bud Collier way. I know you're familiar with this one. The way he did it on the old 40s cartoon there, Cal L. This looks like a job for Superman. I love it when he's Clark Kent going into the way he starts his voice high. Man, this looks like a job for Superman. I just love it.
Yeah.
Enigmatic Drop Bear, buddy. Hello there, Enigmatic Drop Bear, brother.
The erudite bear. ED is in the house.
It is good to see you there, Edie. Mr. Angel, Chef. Hey.
Evening, Chef.
Great to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Mazarus. Hey, Mazarus.
Yes, our good friend Mazarus. Sorry that you're having trouble with those YouTube filters.
Are you? Oh,
No,
yeah. Sorry, you mentioned earlier.
Mazarus.
Yeah. Mazarus did. Yeah, sorry. Let's see here. Some fella named Yaworski Pool Practice. What's up there?
That guy.
Watch that one, folks. Watch that one like a hawk. Let's see here. What a great crowd we got so far. I'm trying to write them all down, so I can shout them out.
We have some new people too. I'm very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Snail Messiah. Now, Snail Messiah, I got your books, your comics in the mail, and I mean today. So I was barely able to take it. I had to go do this out. I have not got a chance to look at them yet. I just, other than taking them out of the box there. But I got your letter right here that you wrote. You are too kind, my friend, for sending those to me. Take a look at them as soon as I can. But thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
That is too
Cool.
I appreciate that. It's a Beetle Bailey comics from way over there across the sea.
I remember him talking about the Beetle Bailey comics, and I remember them. They were quite good. So since Snail Messiah is in the house, I'm going to have to tell all of the bears in the audience and Mark D with the C to put away your escargot forks and hide your garlic butter. Snail Messiah in the house.
Well, there you go. And we do have it. There we go. We got Lord LT as the chief security officer. So. Excellent.
Well, he is in real life. Why not on our show as well?
Oh, yeah, he is a real life superhero. In fact, to me he is.
He is.
Let's see. We got a bunch of real life superheroes to me here. The great Tyrell 72. Tyrell, thank you for being here, my friend. Good to see you.
Hi, Tyrell.
I hope you're doing well. Captain James Skywalker, what's up, buddy?
Evening.
Hey. Wolfie 762.
I was talking about how smart you are the other night on Clobby's Clubhouse.
So you were
Wolfie,
lying.
After you left.
Him.
Yeah.
No, he is smart. I think you meant me, but good.
I just love Wolfie's knowledge of ships.
Oh God, yeah, he does know his ships.
We had a great little chat about how much I admire your knowledge of the plausibility of the engineering. And so we had a little chat about you. I think after you left, I think you were only in for a few minutes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but Wolfie, we love you. Good to see you.
Indeed. And the aforementioned and new bartender, Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you. Papa Delta Yankee, hello there.
Papa Delta Yankee.
Welcome. Good to see you. I like that name there. Lee Anthony Davis.
Evening.
Good to see you, my friend. I've not seen you here before, Mr. Double C, but welcome. Welcome to you.
Nice.
The lovely Janet from another planet. Hello there, lovely lady.
Interplanet Janet, she's a galaxy girl.
I love it. Monkey Jeebus, what's up, bro?
Monkey Jeebus!
Monkey Jeebus. Hey there, Rogue Disney. It's a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. Eric Carroll. Indeed, Rogue Disney. Eric Kell, thank you for being here as well, Eric.
Evening.
Keely Chow, Roll Tide. And look who else. Look who just popped in. JT Kirk.
JT Kirk. There's another
Hey,
of
Jay.
our plausibility in the engineering as far as the ships
Oh,
goes. Guru. I
he
love
knows
it
the tech
when
stuff.
JT Kirk and Wolfie get together to talk about the ships. I think it's just great. I'm so happy you're both here tonight.
I think Mark D with the C might like hire those guys as for engineering as one's a warp specialist or one of them might be in other words he needs people working for him in engineering, so you never know, they might
Yeah.
get those guys on board there. We'll have to check with the chief
Chef is
engineer.
apologizing right now. He just brought
For?
the garlic butter out of Chef's reflex.
Oh
And he
no!
wants us to know that he has kicked it underneath the table and hidden his fork. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Chef.
Oh my goodness! Hey there, the cat man. What is up, cat man? It is great to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I think we've got most of our hellos taken care of,
We
and
do.
in fairly decent time. Um. So I guess let me see here. Yep. Why don't we get started? What do you think? Number one.
I think we should get started. For the folks who have never been here before, why don't you set the stage, Captain? Captain, please tell us about the
Yeah.
735 Club and our journey tonight, what we're about to embark upon.
Well, a little bit over a year ago now, we started on this journey. We left Space Dry Dock, took the ship out there, and we've decided that we are going to review all of real, legitimate, true Roddenberry Star Trek, which means everything under his banner, and even after his passing, that were shows connected to his actual reality and his actual canon, and that means 735 segments and 6 series and 10 films. So we started with the original series. We did the animated series, the original crew films, and now we are in the midst of nearing towards the end of season 5 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And we do usually we try to do 4 episodes per night. That depends. Sometimes it depends on even numbers, things like that. But for the most part, throughout the course of a season, we do 4 episodes per night. Just as tonight, we have 4 episodes for you, and we will review them. And we will talk. My wonderful first officer will read from a text called the block text. She'll explain what that is. This is what it looks like. It is a book, and it's a book and a brick. And we will talk a little bit about. She'll read us some info about the episode. We will discuss the episode a bit. We will rank it, give our opinions on it in terms of ranks, and then we will turn it over to you, wonderful friends in the chat. Let you give a rating, and of course, let you give an opinion that we will read out to the world, so they will know a plethora of varying opinions on the episode in question. So, with no further explanation, let me pass this on to our wonderful first officer.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I think that perfectly explains it. Oh my goodness, we have a wonderful super chat from Eric Carroll. I would also like to welcome Harold Patterson
Harold
to the
Patterson.
chat. Welcome, Harold Patterson. And Nirat Anaximandabear is present, just materialized on
Nirat.
the deck. He is here.
Oh, all right, they're not, and good to see you, my friend. We always love seeing you here. And let's see, where did I let anything go? Okay, was that one there.
Yeah.
Eric Carroll says
What a sweet human being.
for 735 check. Appreciate you. All hail the 735 Club, says Eric Carroll. Eric, thank you so much. You are too kind, my friend, and all hail you, sir. And live long and prosper to you, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Slap some pattern answers around the pattern answers around the like button, folks. We have the best. Well, we have the greatest ship and crew here. It's amazing.
We do. And look at our warm and welcoming community, our wonderful crew saying hello to all of the newcomers. And LT saying, I'll drink to that. So,
yes, we have a great crew here, folks. They're all the best.
We do. And and Clubby wasn't kidding. When we're done speaking about the episode, we're going to put it to you, and you can give a grade and you can give your comments. And not only will we marquee them, they'll go straight up on the marquee, but we'll read them and we'll discuss their contents, because we want this to feel like just a bunch of Trekkies, just a bunch of geeks and nerds getting together to discuss Star Trek.
Yeah.
And look at what Eric's done.
Eric with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. The Bronze Wrencher says, "Why is Wesley missing from that picture? Wouldn't
I
you
blew
like
him
to
up.
know?" We just we took him out of reality.
I blew him up.
You're gonna get your fill of Wesley tonight. Just. Why I oughta. All righty. So number one, that is enough about. I don't want any more cracks about the book.
That's right.
So
It's a block. It's a brick. It's a brick. It's a block.
Are we ready to start with our first episode of the evening?
Ready.
All right. Well, that would be Cause and Effect.
Yeah, Cause and Effect. It's season 5, episode 18. We've all watched this. Well, most of us watched this for the very first time on March 23rd, 1992. And Eric has put in yet another super chat. I love you. Thank you for keeping the lights on and the home fires burning in Clobby's virtual comic book shop. I love you, Eric. Boss man, he's got another one there in the chat.
Really? That must be not. Maybe it didn't show up on my
I'll start it for you, boss man.
Okay, I'm not seeing it.
Go ahead and check your starred selection.
Okay, thank you. My chat must be slowing up. We can't have that tonight. This chat's too.
No.
P Hard apologized. P Hard apologized later for being in the front. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate that. You were too kind, man. Thanks.
So let's get down to business. If you are joining us and you're not in the live chat, there is a beautiful photo, a little screen cap of Cause and Effect. Now, if you're new around here, I'm going to read from the block text first. We use it as a launching off point. It offers us a summary and gives us behind the scenes facts. I'm going to be reading extemporaneously. That means I haven't practiced it. I haven't pre-read it. I want to keep it organic so that I can share it with Clobby and I can share it with all of you. So let's keep copyright compliant, shall we, folks?
Yes.
I will be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman. And of course, this has an introduction from Ronald D. Moore, and that is because this lovely person named Paula M. Block is a prolific Star Trek writer who gets original source material and original interviews from the cast, from the production team, from the writers, and so on and so forth. And this is how she writes her books. Now, sometimes they're not always written perfectly, and sometimes she has some wonky opinions. But you know what? It really is nice knowing, since there is so much user-generated information out there on the internet, that this is fact, and it helps us to break the episode down. So, without further ado, please turn your hymnal, if you have a copy of this text,
to page
Wolfie
248. Let me just thank him real quick for this.
Wolfie,
Wolfie, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, buddy. You're too kind. Thank you guys for the kind words. I was destined to be a Trek geek. When my parents got me the Star Trek Encyclopedia for my 12th birthday, I took that book everywhere. I love that book. Thank you so much, Wolfie. Thank you. Really appreciate that, man.
We appreciate you so much. I love, there are areas of Star Trek where I'm an expert, and I make sure that I keep my expertise by constantly doing research and doing comparative analysis of that research, and it's really cool to know that folks like you are out there and folks like JT Kirk are out there. So when we do have these engineering questions and we do have these ship questions, not only can you answer them, but you can give us details and insight that we wouldn't otherwise be able to muster. So love you, love you, love you. All right, without further ado, please turn your Star Trek hymnal to page 248 for Cause and Effect. It's deja vu all over again, and again, and again, when a mission to chart a region known as the Typhon Expanse leads the Enterprise to repeated disaster. The ship's propulsion systems fail, and the crew finds itself on a collision course with a ship that seems to appear out of nowhere. Offered differing advice from Data and Riker, Picard makes a decision and pays the price as the Enterprise strikes the other vessel and explodes, and then pops back into existence a short time later, as the crew repeats the same routine, thanks to a time loop that has snared them like fly paper. And of course, in the text, we have some lovely behind the scenes interactions with a Johnny Fakey Pants and Kelsey Grammer. There is another tile, Captain. Shall I read it?
Sure.
This is from 249 from the block text. When I got the script to Cause and Effect, I thought it was a joke from Brannon Braga, director Johnny Fakes says. I read Act 1, I read Act 2, I read Act 3, I read Act 4, I read Act 5. And I said, you guys are screwing with me. Come on. I remember Johnny Fakes saying Braga relates with a chuckle, and he wasn't alone. When the episode aired, people thought there was something wrong with their TV sets, or that the station was airing the same act again. The conclusion arose from a story device apparently new to some of the viewers, a time loop. We were trying things on the show that had never been done before, Braga notes. Time loops were common in science fiction literature, but this was pretty daring for television. And remember, this was before the movie Groundhog Day. The idea came from kind of a challenge that had been laid down. Braga says. Gene Roddenberry didn't want us to do certain things on the show. No time travel was one of those things. To me, that was a direct challenge. Why? Anyway,
I don't know.
because that's my favorite kind of story. Of course, it would be his favorite kind of story. So I decided to do time travel in a way that hadn't been seen before. Usually time travel stories have someone going back to stop something from happening. It seemed to me that you could do anything with time. You could be caught in the same day over and over again, and that's where it started. It was hard to write, Braga continues, because each act is subtly different. I remember sitting in the room with Michael Pillar and the staff breaking that story, wondering, how are we going to break them out of the time loop? It took us several days before we came up with using the poker game and sending a message through data. Then Johnny Fakes did a brilliant job in filming each repeated scene a little different. The same scene had to be shot 5 different ways, Fakies recalls. Man, it was a real challenge. In a weird way, planning all those different courtroom shots in the drumhead had prepared me for it because because a lot of it takes place on the bridge. I decided to have the actors do it exactly the same way each time, but to show it from a different point of view. I'd watched a lot of directors by then and directed a few episodes, so I knew all of the possible bridge angles, and I think I used all of them. At the time, the episode felt like this funky experiment, Braga comments. Now, 20 years later, it's considered a classic. Really? I'm friends with Seth MacFarlane, the guy who created Family Guy. He loves The Next Generation. Watched it when he was growing up. He told me Cause and Effect was his favorite episode. And then he said, I was 11 years old when I saw it, which makes me feel old. Oh my goodness, there's another tile. Shall I read it or skip it?
No, we'll just say some hellos real quick. Darius Munchausen, Just Joe 47, and Michael Beacom. Hello, welcome, my friends. Yeah, you go ahead and knock it out. Let's go.
Eric Alba was this is tile 250 for all the copyright police out there from the block text. Eric Alba was one of many young visual effects associates who worked behind the scenes in Star Trek during the 1990s. I held a swing position in post-production, Alba notes. At the time, we were shooting The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and I'd worked for both series. Star Trek was my first TV show and my first visual effects job, so I always say that TNG and DS9 were my film school, since I never actually went to one. The things I learned there I still carry with me today. I learned a lot about teamwork and what a collaborative art form filmmaking is, even at the TV level. My mentors, Dan Curry and Rob Legato and Gary Hutzel, were very generous with their time and willing to teach me. I was in a unique situation, a very young kid who was allowed to learn all of this stuff at the beginning before computer graphic imaging was everywhere. Alba was, and still is, an avid photographer, and he kept his camera with him on the job just in case something interesting caught his eye. The photo opposite, in the text, is of Alba with one of the saucer sections that were blown apart in Cause and Effect. They blew up 4 or 5 models, all built by Greg Jen. Greg always kept the molds, what we called the negative, for the ships he built, so he could create new pieces if he had to repair something. Greg had to paint them and put all the detail on, but he didn't have to include lights. You can see in the picture that the models were pre-scored so they would break apart easily during pyro. And that is all the block text has to say on cause and effect. I'm going to put it over to you now, Captain. Clobby, what did you think of the coverage? And what did you think of the episode, Cause and Effect?
Pretty interesting coverage. I didn't know a lot of that stuff about that. No, I think classic's probably taking it a little bit too far, but I actually can understand why people do think it's a classic. Star Trek is supposed to give you crazy out there ideas sometimes, and even if the execution drops in some ways, see, this falls more into the category of I can admire the effort than as some of the. What was that one that we really hated a couple of months back when Beverly's only on the warp thing makes her disappear all over the place? What was that stupid ass episode?
Remember?
Yeah, yeah. In other words, something like that which makes no sense and it's just not. It's annoying to me. I found this. I'm sorry, I found it to be entertaining as McFarlane did. It doesn't. You can really pick it to pieces. It doesn't stand up to the smell test and some of the way. But I thought it was clever and kind of fun. I liked the episode on balance. I don't think it's but a classic. Maybe. But like who was they were talking about? You were talking about what was interesting about that coverage was the people who were having problems thinking there was something wrong with the episode because it kept snapping back and stuff. I can kind of understand that for someone younger or someone who hasn't watched or read a lot of science fiction.
Yeah.
By the way, Doctor Who did it many years earlier on an episode called The Armageddon Factor. That was the first time I saw anything like a time loop, and it was throughout the course of an episode. And I'd read something else, but again, read comics or something. So I was familiar with time loops, so that didn't throw me. I thought this thing was actually fairly cleverly done. Thought it was a pretty entertaining, well-moving episode. I don't mind the kind of eerie Twilight Zone-esque kind of an eye feel to it. Again, I don't think I wouldn't know if I'd say a classic, but I thought it was enjoyable. And I kind of liked the ending. It was irresistible to see that crew with that old ship there that had been stuck in that loop for, the crew of the the ship, the Bozeman.
The Bozeman, yes.
The Bozeman, yes. Captain Bateson or whatever. Seeing Kelsey Grammer, that was kind of fun seeing him on there.
Yes.
Overall, I don't find it to be a terrible episode or anything. I think it's kind of a gimmick episode for sure, and you could definitely rip it to pieces if you want to have fun doing it. But it didn't aggravate me or make me angry like other ridiculous concept episodes that really ask a lot of you.
Yes.
This one, I can go. You can pick it. So I say anyone wants to pick it or beat it up, go ahead. But I found it enjoyable.
Well, what can I say? Well, first of all, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I don't know. I run hot and cold with this episode because it falls right after Jean's death, and it sort of seems like they're on a bit of a kick in the writers' room and in the production of the show, where they're sort of trying to defy everything Jean put in the TNG Bible because he was no longer there. So it was kind of like, while the cat's away, the mice will play. And
right.
And you know what a huge fan I am of Gene Roddenberry. Certainly no one can deny that if they would have followed his Bible, that the show would have been greatly improved. So I want to give the episode high marks, but it's just sort of lukewarm for me. It's like, you know how you have to let the tap run before it's cold enough to drink? This would be holding your cup right underneath the tap as soon as you turn it on and having a sip. It's not disgusting. It's neither divine nor disgusting. And but what's happening behind the scenes in this sort of, well, he's dead, let's do whatever we want now. It does cheese me off.
No, I could definitely understand that, but I can see, for example, how McFarlane, thank you for the Orville, you bastard, you better hurry up and give us more of it.
We love him.
But I can see where an 11-year-old kid who's, and a lot of younger viewers back then would watch it and get caught up in the whole idea. It's very gimmicky in that respect. It's very manipulative.
Any idea how old it makes me feel that Seth MacFarlane was 11 years old in 1992?
You know how old I was? So,
I was a mom with a kid at that time. 11 years old.
I'm not saying how old I was. Okay. Oh my God. I was 28. Yeah. So his kid was a kid. But I can see where, that gimmick would be fun for a kid, and you would remember that episode. So classic, no, because a classic. When I say a classic, I'm talking about one that really sticks with you, like Who Watches the Watchers, that is pure Trek at its in a glorious level. Something like that. But I thought it was certainly better than some of the sillier episodes, and I don't mind them taking chances. I think you're right that they should probably stay. Not just because Roddenberry said it, because Roddenberry did time travel also.
He did, but he had
But,
some rules behind it, and of
well,
course,
yeah,
like he basically admits here that Gene said no about this story, and so the
oh
second
yeah,
that
yeah,
Gene died, he was like, "I'm
he
doing it."
jumped on it. See,
Yeah.
I have less of a problem with an accidental time travel story than an intentional one. For example, I love Star Trek 4 as much as the next fan, but this is just, hey, we could just jump. Oh, and I love, Assignment Earth. I don't like them
Mhm.
just saying, you know what, let's go back in time. Let's just go slingshot around the fact. That basically means Starfleet has a time machine. I
Yeah.
don't like that kind of stuff where they just wouldn't just set our we could set it up for warp. Just go. I'm not big
Yeah,
on that.
because what it
An
does is that
accident, yes,
it creates an unstable storytelling environment, and it takes you
right,
out of the story because no matter how much you buy into the time travel aspects, then one's natural
right.
reaction is to say things like, well, if your mom died, just go back in time. If you tripped and skinned your knee, just go back in time. If you got radiation sickness from going to this planet, just go back in time. And so the transporter and the time travel, all one need do to stay suspended in this forever life like a vampire is go once around the sun, get involved in a temporal anomaly, or get in the transporter. And so it
Right.
turns into science fantasy instead of science fiction. And so I think at that point it begins to take away from the storytelling.
Notes?
Yes, my notes. For those of you at home, I take notes as I watch each episode, and I have been watching Star Trek continuously since it came out every single year, starting on January 1st in
J.
chronological order.
J.D. Lewis, hey there. And Cavatino, Cavaman Clay, hello.
Yes. So here are my notes, and I take them with a pencil and paper while I'm watching. Gene Roddenberry didn't like time warp or time travel. And then I wrote, episode scared the crap out of me in 1992. I think I was
Hmm.
cooking dinner when when the Enterprise blew up, and I was like, I swore and said, why did the Enterprise just blow up? Also, I wrote, I have those port glasses that Bev manages to smash.
Oh,
I use them every Sunday
really?
for
Oh, okay,
port.
yeah. Oh, yeah, this glass. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then I wrote, the 3-pip signal is weird and too convoluted to be a meaningful and practical message sending system. Sorry, don't buy it. And so, yeah,
Well, there you
that's
go.
all I have.
Okie doke, okie doke. So, yeah, again, I found it enjoyable. I have no defense, everyone. I just thought it was kind of fun and just kind of a. I like the ambitious stuff, and I can really understand how younger viewer like McFarlane would just get really into that. Whoa, look who this here, Zathras.
Crap, crap,
Zathras!
crap. Oh, and we
Just
have a
in
bot.
time.
Somebody, um, yeah, take out your disruptors.
Good to see you, Zath. Always great to see you there, brother. So, all right, well, what is your rating of cause and effect?
It's a B.
Ah, there you go. We always end up with the same ratings on these things. Even though I was talking it up, I couldn't give it anything higher than a B because while I found it entertaining, I guess I don't know the whole thing with them being able to send themselves the message kind of stretches it a little bit for me. So other than that, but I still like it. Yeah, but
This three
B's
thing
and
I
B's,
think is a little
it's fair.
odd,
I
and
think B's fair.
they think that it's incredibly clever. I don't find it clever. I find it discombobulating. I
Right.
don't think that it's believable that that Data would need to look to the chain of command, and that he would romantically look up at the Decker unit's pips and say, oh, "I know how to save us.
Yeah,
Just listen to the Decker unit."
that was a little. That was why I had it. And yeah, was that a coinky dink that he directed the episodes. He was right and Data was
Yeah.
wrong. I
Yes,
don't
and so he gets to be Wesley. I mean, anyone who gets to save the day, especially whomever is directing the show.
All right, everyone, please. Now I will ask you. We always say wait till I give the word. Well, I'm giving the word now. Please give your rating and any comments you may have on cause and effect. The word is given. Go.
Fire at will. Please put up your grade and then a very brief comment.
Want to
I
start
will star them.
storing
They will
those
go
for
in a
me? And
cute little file, and then the captain will
cool,
read them.
cool. Like I said, I find it enjoyable, and that's okay for. I think it's okay for an episode to be just kind of, even if they have some faults. I understand what you're talking about with Roddenberry. Faults here and there, or some things you could shoot holes in. If it's relatively suspenseful and enjoyable, and it was, I think so. And again, I just wish that he had uttered these words when Picard tells Captain Bateson or whatever who about that he's the Enterprise and all this stuff. He should have said Enterprise. That's Jim Kirk's ship.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, it was good to see.
that would have been great.
He should have been Captain Fraser, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, so looks like you got a
Where's your
field
tossed
stuff.
salads and scrambled eggs? They're calling
Yes,
again.
toss. Yep. And
Sorry.
while you're starring those, I will get moving here. So, all right, let's see here. JD Lewis says a solid B. Thank you, JD. Appreciate that. Mr. Angel, the chef, says for all the things I could say about my love of this episode. I would have loved to see Kelsey Grammer more in Star Trek. Yeah, me too. He does have a gravitas captain's look, and by Jove, give me that uniform.
Did
Like
somebody
seeing those
just
little
say
uniforms.
Jove?
He did say Jove.
Genuinely say by Jove? Who said that?
That was Mr. Angel.
Miss, oh my goodness, I
Well done,
love
chef.
you. Love, love, love you.
Papa Delta Yankee says a minus. Not perfect, but definitely one of the better uses of time travel in Trek. This is more of a concept of sci-fi episode, and overall it executes the premise well. Yeah, it definitely a high concept episode. I understand what you're saying there. Thank you so much for that, Papa Delta Yankee. Hungry for a
Roger.
real femme
Who is
fatales to
Roger
return.
Murtaugh? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Hmm?
I beg your pardon, boss.
That's
Roger Murtaugh. Please keep the chat
that's
PG, sir.
that's Roger Murtaugh is the name of Danny Glover's character from Lethal Weapon. Why is
We
he here?
have a lovely human being who has materialized in the chat as Roger Murtaugh,
Really?
and he used the poopy word.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Roger Murtaugh. I love
Welcome.
the Lethal Weapon movies, man. And I guess that's the only way I know that name from. Only place I know it from. Hungry Boy says B flat. I got my row. Now, what is it with that row haircut? I don't know. Never mind. I don't know why she's got a Vulcan cut, but all right. I get my row. I get my Kelsey. I get my Data, and love it when sci-fi does something that normie movies later rip off. Memento, yes. Yep, I like Memento, but yeah, you're right. It ripped the hell out of it. Eric Carroll says greatest episode of the entire series, A plus. That's your favorite.
Wow!
Is that your favorite one? Wow, that's a high rating. Well, thank you, Eric. I didn't know it was your number one, but there you go. Yes.
Anti-derivative Jill would like you to know that she doesn't like the haircut either, and neither do I.
Yeah, I was weirded out by her haircut. I remember. I probably forgot about it until I saw it again. Just watched the episode again the other day, and I'm like, Hey, Mega Cropper. I did not say Mega Cropper always creeps in there. Mega Cropper. It's good to see you. Mega Cropper gives it an A minus. Thank you, Mega Cropper. And so Mega Cropper likes this one. And if you will do the honors, we have our good friend Enigmatic Drop Bear. Okay. Number one, go for it.
I am just going to star some of these beautiful comments, and then I will get to work. Here we go. All right. Hopefully not too many of them appear. Oh, there's Cal. Just wait. There we go. Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear, one of my favorite bears in the whole wide wee world. He's got a 5-parter, and you know what that means, folks. This is a bona fide esh pick. So here it is, 5 parts. He's giving the episode a B. He says, in this Sisyphean tale, the Enterprise crew relies on deja vu, inspired intuition, a dekion emitter, and data to escape their recurring destruction. 2 of 5. Time travel stories are notoriously difficult to put off in a series show like ST. It can't get away with Doctor Who eccentricity and
Yes.
timey wimey lines, and they didn't use the Guinan MacGuffin.
Yep.
3. Oh no, that's Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Oops. Sorry, Mr. Tickletrunk. I mean, sorry, Enigmatic. Sorry for everything.
There's my bear.
Oops.
3 of 5. Data is unable to explain the numerous appearances of the number 3 in the final loop, but reasons that it cannot be a coincidence. Unfortunately, the story did not explain this phenomenon either. Yeah, Edie, it totally annoys me too. I don't like it. 4 of 5. The Dekion emitter was only able to encode a few characters, not seed future events. The spurious occurrences of the threes remains a mystery. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
Indeed.
5 of 5. The USS Bozeman was apparently caught in the temporal causality loop for 90 years, yet the crew hadn't aged a day. How so? And how did they get caught in the loop in the first place? Yeah, and it'd be great if they
They
would
don't tell
just,
us, do they? Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, okay, so what happened to the moss in the lab? And obviously, people understand that that's an inside Star Trek joke. What happened to the moss being grown in the lab if they're in there for 90 years? So, yeah, Enigmatic Drop Bear, drop the mic. That is a great review, and I totally agree.
Well done. We have one from our great buddy Steve Mitchum. We hadn't seen him review something in a while. So Steve Mitchum says, A-. I enjoyed this episode. Obvious plot holes aside, installing baby gates so I can't type a detailed analysis. So I can type. Oh, so I can't type. Yep.
Steve, I am
Baby
so
gates.
happy that you are on the mend and that you're feeling better and that you're even
Yeah, buddy.
feeling better enough to have Maddie there. We love you
Oh.
so much. You are such a good friend to all of us. And I am so happy that you're feeling better.
Yes.
My Conan in Las Vegas. So,
Indeed.
yeah. Grr, arg.
Good to see you, buddy. Harold Patterson. Welcome, Harold. It's good to see you. A new friend here. Gives it an A.
Good,
There you
good.
go. A well-liked episode. I think this episode is doing very well for itself, isn't it? Mr. Tickle Trunk says B+. Despite its errors, growing up, this episode really hit me with the unexpected explosion of the ship at the end of Act 1. Yes, it stuck with me. Mr. Wu finally wins a card game, so it can't be too bad. Mr. Wu.
I love him. Mr. Tickle Trunk is welcome at my nerd table anytime.
I would have loved a little more playfulness, like every other science fiction show has done, with repeating days, etch-a-sketching consequences. TNG era ship wasn't there to make the old ship. Let's see. Repeat in the loop. So why was the old ship there in the first place? That stuck with me as much as the ship exploding at the end of Act 1. This episode is the ugly stepchild of my TNG heart. Well, that's okay.
I want to answer Enigmatic Drop Bear as well. Yeah, Enigmatic Drop Bear, I have, as many people in the audience know, I have a great deal of difficulty switching between French, which I see here in Canada quite a lot, English, and then, of course, my adopted language from my Greek national family. I find it very difficult to read Greek written in English. So when I see a Greek word, but it's using the English alphabet, I find it difficult to read. I don't find it natural. It's far more natural for me when I see a Greek word written in the Greek alphabet to be able to say the words. So that's an issue for me. But thank you so much.
Guilty pleasures exist for a reason. Yeah, that's for sure. They do.
Tim's Talk. Just walk through the door, boss.
Who?
Tim's Talk.
Oh, hey, Tim's Talk.
Oh, and Aravic, sorry, Sonder just walked through the door as well, boss man.
Oh, okay. Good to see you there, Sonder. That's right. Well, thank you. It's great to see you. I hope you're all doing well tonight. Thank you for joining us. The Catman says A plus. Gotcha. Now, if you would do the honors of my wonderful first officer, we have our wonderful communications officer, Anti-Derivative Jill. Go for it.
Anti-derivative Jill, in-house nerd, fellow INTJ, and mathlete, a woman we love. Jill's got a three-parter here. She's given this episode a B, and she's saying, watching the ship explode repeatedly and everyone having to deal with the deja vu of the time loop was fun. Picard's reason to not just change course makes no sense, but it's a good time. 2 of 4. Why do they fuss with data when Geordi is receiving images, which would allow for sending more complex messages?
Uh, mm.
Well,
She
yeah,
got-
she's correct there because remember, he was receiving images, not just fragments of conversations, and Data had to listen to all of the conversations, separate all 1,000 voices, he says, and then he pieces them all together, and he only has that fragment of 6 seconds, so that is a problem, and it's definitely something that I think about every time I watch the episode. So I love you, Jill.
I'm confused on which one of these goes for. So, a little bit of timey-wimey moment myself. So, this one's before it, so we'll go with this one.
Okay.
Go for it.
3 of 4. Why would an explosion have that effect on space-time? Also, why couldn't they just change course? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then she got 3 of 3.
That's
So I
all
was,
right. We'll do both.
yeah,
It
it's
takes
cool.
the Enterprise 17 days to experience deja vu and solve their problem, but the Bozeman has no such effects after 80 years in the time loop. Is it 80 or is it 90? Anyway, lack of consistency robs this fun one of an A. Yeah, and certainly it's important to point that out, Jill. And you and I are always of one mind on these things. And certainly it would be quite easy to give this an A if there was a cleanup on aisle 2, 3, and 4. If we did those little cleanups, maybe we could bring in the Clawbony to do that. It would definitely be plausible to give this sucker an A.
Zathras says B because I'm half asleep. I'm old. Zathras is old. That's true. Look at H. Eric K says B for Kelsey Grammer alone. Love everything he is in.
Mhm.
Yes, he is great. Lord Thought, the great LT says B. And by the way, shout out to Mrs. LT, by the way.
Yay!
I still stop and watch this one, even if the story doesn't hold up well. Great seeing Kelsey in this shout out to the Borg attack on Sector 001 when his voice is heard calling in from the Bozeman.
Boss man, may I please interject very quickly here? I
Sure.
do apologize for interrupting you, but our wonderful friend Michael Beacom just walked through the door. Michael is posting,
Michael.
and the chat's jumping around, so I'm going to track down all of his posts. But would you please
Go
add
for
his wonderful name to your list of
I already
the
did earlier.
usual suspects?
I did. I yelled him out earlier. Michael
Oh,
Beacom.
good.
We got you. Thank you, though. We've got Wolfie. Wolfie says, rating A. This is a great episode. Yes, gimmicky, some weird stuff going on with passing info from repeat time, but still a fun story. The exploding Enterprise models are fascinating. When does Captain Crane get his own series? Are you thinking of I think you're on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, buddy. Where's Admiral Nelson? They actually got the T-Walk uniforms correct here with the undershirt denoting a department. White equals command. Yes, they didn't they? That's nice.
Yep.
Interesting rehash of the Miranda model. Yeah, because instead of the Soyuz, it looks like more like a Miranda class starship, like which the Reliant is. I always wondered about that, but they changed it. So the Miranda model here for the Soyuz class. I was wondering about that. I'm glad you're helping with that.
See, this is what happens when nerds go full on in the back seat so the geeks can take over. Listen to this engineering talk, folks. Love it.
We get the Reliant model redressed with the TOS-style bridge module and giant cannon sensor pod on the top and bottom port starboard. I found that cannon pretty interesting to have a cannon like that on there, by the way. I love that ship, though.
Yeah.
It is pretty much more like the like that other class, though. A- for the great J.T. Kirk. Maroon uniforms, Vincent Rowe, poker, Raquel. Poker, okay. Raquel, I cried when I saw this. I was in first
Oh,
grade. I was in first grade trauma.
yeah.
While not the most plausible, I get a tingling feeling when this comes up in the watch cycle. Well, there you
Yeah.
go. A lot of people really do love this episode, so it's great.
Yeah, and yeah, I was really shocked. Like I was floored. I thought, I can't believe that they've done this. What the heck's going on here? And of course, in the original series films, lots of stuff was being blown up. So I was pretty freaked out. And for this to happen if you were young, I could totally see that, JT Kirk.
Indeed. B from Sandra Feliciano. B. Sandra says some incongruities, but overall an uncomplicated, enjoyable episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I would agree with that. Thank you, Sandra.
A great Just Joe 47 Jobber. What's up, brother? B plus. A big improvement on the season 2 episode Time Squared. Time
Yes.
loop idea. Oh yes. I liked how the crew reacted each time and the Fraser surprise. The Deckard unit saved the ship in your face, Raquel.
I love you. That's
He
great.
sent it.
That's
He
great.
sent it forward into the future to tell him that. Yeah. He sent it via like some kind of code into the future to tell Raquel in your face.
Love
Uh,
you.
the other Feliciano, the Raymond of the bunch, says B. Raymond Feliciano says B. It made me dizzy. I loved Captain Fraser in this one. Wish he came back again. Any episode with Ensign Rowe is enjoyable. Yes. I'm an Ensign Rowe fan as well, and I don't apologize to anyone for it there, Raymond.
Except for that haircut. That haircut
Yep,
is
with the
just.
haircut. It's
Ugh.
wow. I thought, look, if they hadn't said, you could, if they'd like never showed her face, you'd have thought it was a Vulcan sitting there. Nirat Tanak Samantha Bear, good to see you there, Nirat. I give it a C plus because it sounds like a decent episode, but somehow I don't remember it at all.
Oh.
Maybe I've fallen asleep before this episode came on a couple of times. It happens to me too sometimes. Also, McFarlane was around 19 in 1992.
Really?
Really? I did
You know
not.
what? I don't
I,
doubt that at all because Johnny
okay.
Fakey Pants is not a reliable source for storytelling. So I love that you just said that. Could
Okay.
we get some confirmation of that?
It
This
can
is
be easily
great.
found.
I
It can
love
easily
it.
be looked into. Yeah. Mr. Angel, the chef says, Raquel, I am a secret history nerd. Well, your secret is out now.
Yay. By
No more-
Jove.
No longer a secret there, Mr. Chef. Kal-El says A minus. This was a very good episode exploring a familiar but not overused sci-fi premise to tell a story. The way that the crew ultimately figures out how to avoid the collision and warn themselves in the next loop was well done. The confusion of the captain of the USS Bozeman was completely understandable, and Picard welcoming the crew of the Bozeman to the there we go. To the 24th century was the perfect way to end the episode. It was, but man, I can't tell you how much I wanted to see so much more with, I wanted to see him talking to, I know that's not what the episode's for, but I just wanted to see Picard talking to him and I wanted to meet this captain. I'm pretty sure that lady on the left, not the one farther in the background was from another Trek episode or one of the Trek movies. She was in the background in one of those as well.
Okay, I need to clarify something just before the chat gets away on this. Okay, guys, on page 249, there, as Jill will back me up on this, it's a great deal of quotes, and so I thought that was still Johnny Fakey Pants talking, but it's not. It's Braga. So on page 249, Jill, leave a little tab on that area there because yes, he says. I was 11 years old when I saw it. And of course, there's no possible way McFarlane could have been 11. I love you, Chad. Good job, Chad.
Well done, well done, well done. J25 says solid B. I liked it. Of course, Worf was right. Turn back. I also liked it when X-Files and Farscape did it. Oh, wow. Double C says, I give it a B because it was entertaining. Thank you, Double C. We appreciate you.
Nice.
Phantom Outsider says, B, but here's an interesting question. Did the Bozeman try to save itself? In 75 plus years, they couldn't come up with a solution since it was a tractor beam or
Yeah, and
decompression.
they weren't even aware that they were caught in something Phantom
No, they
Outsider.
weren't.
That's the
I'm not,
weirdest thing.
yeah. Seems like they'd have stumbled on a solution way sooner than this. On which side did the loop start? In past or future? They tried to get Kirstie Alley to be Savick.
That's
Her ask was too high.
Yeah, they did. I have read in several places, but I don't have confirmation of that, and I've never heard her specifically say it. But it is a
That would have been
rumor.
funny.
It's a rumor that I can't confirm, and obviously, you guys know, as an academic, as a scholar, I'm not going to say things unless I can have original source material proof. But yeah, apparently, Kirstie Alley was supposed to be standing behind him. She wasn't supposed to say anything, and that also might have had something to do with it. So it's not only that it was that they couldn't pay her enough; it's that the part wasn't a big enough part for her. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, but that's not confirmed. That's just a rumor that you'll read on a lot of these user-generated sites. I've never seen it in print in any of my books that have actually gone through publishing and had a confirmation.
Mrs. LT says hi. Actually, she's honored to be included. Well, it's an honor to have Mrs. LT here with us. Hope you're doing well, Mrs. LT. Pleasant Vadia Picker says A minus gets an A as there are a few better A plus episodes. Still, it's one of the few I remember well. A great opening scene with the ship exploding and great closing scene.
Very
There you
nice.
go.
Very nice.
A WTF fun episode, but entertaining, and it's nice to know one of Fraser's descendants served as a starship captain.
Wolfie
Yes.
says Robin Curtis was better. Get her in there. Robin Curtis was Gene Roddenberry's choice. She is always my choice. She is the only Savick. She is absolutely gorgeous and just a wonderful Vulcan. And she knocked boots with my childhood hero. Let's do it. Bring in Robin Curtis. Anyway, love you, Wolfie. Ow, ow, ow.
With who?
Robin Curtis.
Who did she knock with?
Well, just they say that Savick had.
Oh, with Spock. Oh, that.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like more like fingers, but yeah.
Oh, yes, but
yes, I got you.
implied. It's
Right.
like when Kirk
No, I
stands
got
up
you.
in his bed and he puts his boot
That.
on. It's
Right.
implied. Anyway,
I'm sorry. That was my fault. That's on me.
it's all right.
Michael
Wolfie and I were in our
Bacon.
own world.
Says, A, love this show for what it has. Sci-fi concept, problem solving, real jeopardy, and for what it does not have. Wesley. A, and a, yes, exactly. No B story, no frivolous romance crap. Yep. Obvious crap science deus machina.
God in the machine.
Indeedishness. Great seeing Kelsey Grammer. Can you pick it apart? Of course. Can you pick it apart? Of course. But you can see the attempts at quality time travel. Yeah, but interesting and memorable. You remember it years later. That's what I think people say when they say classic, because it's very memorable. This is a very memorable episode for a lot of reasons. What Lord Doss says, chat A plus.
Yeah, chat gets an A plus for
Wow.
proving that Braga is full of crap. And then
Well
Debug
done.
Martin says, Raquel, call Ponfar, not knocking boots. No, Ponfar is like when they get in heat, like a cat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a cat's in
Yes,
heat.
yes, yes.
But it's not like the intercourse proper. I don't know the Vulcan word for intercourse proper. Please,
hope I
if you're
never
out
do.
there in our chat, don't provide it. We don't need
Please,
to know
I don't
that.
need to know that word. Thank you. Now, oh, you know what you just started, don't you? Thanks a lot, Raquel.
Sorry.
Good God. Mark, great. The chief engineer says A minus. I really like this episode where everyone knows your name. It's deja vu all over again. At first, I thought they hit Klingons off of the starboard bow. Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. Yep. We all know that song. Starboard bow jam. And thanks to Data's analysis, we know that 5 couples and no thruples went out with a bang. Usually I despise time travel stories, but they made this entertaining and seem mildly plausible. Oh, great cameo meeting Captain Fraser. Too bad we never got to learn more about what happened to him and the Boozman. That's yes, sir. Pawn Jamie Farr is something we don't need to see. I'm with you there, partner.
He just did a Star Trek plus MASH joke.
I
This
like it.
man deserves to be at the head of the class. He should be teaching this lesson with us.
Well, if we ever get kids on our starship like Picard has, you can be the teacher. Hungry Boy. Oh, that was mean. Oh, right. You can be the counselor. Well, maybe Hungry Boy needs to be the ship's counselor. No, I don't know. Well, maybe I don't think he wants that job. Who
Well, at
would?
least he doesn't have a camel toe.
That's the problem. I think one should, to be honest. But anyway, well, are we ready for our next episode? Number one.
We are.
Okay.
It's the first duty.
The first duty, everybody.
Yeah, and it's not the first duty, actually, because Wesley has created a lot of duty in this series. The first duty, season 5, episode 19. We all watched this begrudgingly for the first time, well, most of us did, on March 30th, 1992. I am going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Buck. Please turn your hymnal to page 251, where I will read extemporaneously. If I make mistakes, keep your fruits and vegetables to yourselves. A member of Wesley Crusher's 5-person flight squadron at Starfleet Academy has been killed during a complicated in-flight maneuver. Wesley and the other members of the team say that the youth panicked during the maneuver, inadvertently triggering the accident. The youth? What is this? The Ute. Anyway, as Starfleet conducts an investigation, P-Hart suspects that the 4 survivors are hiding something, and he pressures Wesley to come forward with the truth. But the truth could cost Wesley more than the friendship of his teammates. It could end his career in Starfleet. For a show that initially tried to dodge continuing storylines for supporting characters, The First Duty did a lot to set that precedent on its ear. Shannon Phil, as Cadet Sito, would reprise her role and redeem her character in the 17th episode, Lower Decks. Boothby, played by veteran actor Ray Walston, would appear twice in Voyager, although in both cases he was faux Boothby. And Robert Duncan McNeil soon would become a regular cast member on Voyager, playing someone who was almost, but not quite, Nick Locarno. That show's executive producers Rick Berman, Michael Piller, and Jerry Taylor had been so impressed with McNeil's performance in The First Duty that they created a role for him, Tom Paris, a character patterned after Locarno, but with a difference. Locarno seemed a nice guy, but deep down, he was a bad guy, McNeil told Star Trek The Official Fan Club magazine in a 1997 interview. Tom Paris is an opposite premise. Deep down, he's a good guy. He's just made some mistakes.
Yeah, but... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
While not a character per se, the Japanese gardens at Tillman Water Reclamation Plant in Los Angeles, first seen in the episode Justice, yes, we spoke about that before, made such a positive impression as the setting for Starfleet Academy and nearby Starfleet headquarters in The First Duty that it became the permanent go-to location shoot for all future Star Trek episodes set in the fictional facility. And we spoke about that much earlier on in our TNG journey. Tillman would be seen in one additional TNG episode and 9 subsequent episodes in Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Star Trek Enterprise. There is another tile, Captain, but would you like to interject? Would you like me to read tile 252, or would you like to interject and just attack?
Oh, we can go. We can. I mean, if you'd like to. If you see anything interesting there, what do you think? I mean, it's up to you. I don't mind.
When I'm looking to the right, it looks as though it's a courtroom, and it is an extensive tile. But I'm seeing lots of different names here. So let's dig into it. Sticking with being copyright compliant, once again, I am reading from Star Trek 365, written by Paula M. Block. We are on page 252, Copyright Police. Like Ron Moore, Naren Shankar attended college at Cornell. In fact, they met as members of the same fraternity and became good friends. When Moore left town to try to make it as a writer in Los Angeles, Shankar toiled on at Cornell, obtaining an engineering degree. A few years later, he says, I was finishing up my doctoral dissertation, but then I'd already decided I didn't want to be an engineer anymore. At that point, all it took was a bit of encouragement from Moore, who'd recently begun working on the next generation, to motivate him westward. I wrote a spec Star Trek script. Ron showed it to the guys on the show, and they liked it enough to hire me on as a Writers Guild intern, Shankar relates. After his internship ended, his engineering background won him a spot as the show's in house science consultant. But they also let me pitch stories, he says. My first credit was The First Duty, which Ron and I wrote together. Ron had been in the ROTC in college, and we were both into military history. We wanted to do a show set at Starfleet Academy and pick up where Wesley was with his life. Geez, these people talk weird. Our focus was on the notion of choosing between your friends and your duty, and the script actually caused a fair amount of tension between us and Michael Piller. There were always fights in the writer's room, explains Ron Moore. A lot of arguing. But the writers were not muzzled there. Michael Piller, Ira Bear, and Jerry Taylor put up with a lot from us. The fight in this case was over Wesley's moral dilemma. And yeah, this is a big bone I have to pick with this show. Naren and I took the position that Wesley shouldn't be ratting out his friends, Moore continues. Jeez. He should go down with them. And Michael took his parental position. As the father of teenagers, I can tell you that it's just wrong. And telling the truth is more important than anything else. I agree. But we felt that your word to your friends is more important on some levels than your obligation to the rules. That is not true. Naren and I weren't that far removed from being that age in college and being in those kinds of circumstances. Wesley had given his word to hold the secret about what they had done and what led to this kid's death. He had to stand by that with his buddies, but Michael felt that it sent a bad message and that telling the truth is what Star Trek is about. Hey, that's in my notes. I say the same thing.
Wow, yeah.
More or less, it could get pretty passionate in that room. You could take an argument as far as you possibly could, and there was no penalty. Sometimes you convinced them, and sometimes you didn't. Michael would finally say, enough, no, but no one ever held a grudge. One wonders whether, years later and with more perspective, Moore and Shankar ever came to see Pillar's point of view on this particular episode. Shankar chuckles as he sums it up concisely. Nope. And that is all the block text has to say about the first. So what did you think of the coverage, Captain? And what did you think of the episode?
Oh, that's pretty interesting about the coverage right there. About I don't know why they even had to have a conflict like that. I don't know why you would, oppose. Let's forget about how much we all love Wesley for a minute. Why would you oppose him eventually doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Why would that even ever be an argument?
And I think that it is way enough to have him struggle and then have to seek out the counsel of Poopy Stew. Poopy Stew helps him to realize the error of his ways, and then we come back to the Star Trek morals, the Star Trek ethics.
Right.
And that doesn't happen here. It's disappointing.
I also don't agree with, was it McNeil saying something about the differences between Locarno and Paris? See, when I first saw Voyager, when it first came on, I'd forgotten Locarno's name, so I just said, "Oh, he's the same character. That's interesting. He's the same character from that episode that got." I thought that's pretty cool, same actor. So I just immediately assumed that, like a dummy. I didn't, think about it. And I would say that, Nick at the end took the fall for his friends. So even Nick kind of has a bit of a redemption there. at the end, at least he, got helped his friends stay in Starfleet. He did take care of his friends, even though he was wrong throughout the course of the episode. But my point being, I think that could have been. I mean, how's Tom Paris that much different from him?
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, that's not here today. I think the episode. Let's face it. Let's all be honest here. If this wasn't a Wesley thing and it was just an episode about normal characters, doing a story at the Academy about something like this might be kind of okay. But it's really just kind of a snoozer for me, to be perfectly honest with you. But I'm admitting to a prejudice against Wesley. I mean, he doesn't really do anything like he usually does. It's particularly out there annoying. But every time I look at him, he is damaged to any episode he's in. And this one's all about him. Right?
Yeah, and it's also, and once again we have this continuation of Gene has died. Let's do absolutely every single thing that we know would piss Gene off, and you'll have to excuse me for using foul language. I apologize, but it's getting a little much now. Do you know what I mean? Like, wait until you hear my notes.
Go. I don't have a lot to say about it, to be honest. We'll get this. We'll beat this one up quick since we took a while in the last one. But I mean, I've seen way worse episodes. Yep. I just I actually thought I liked Boothby. I saw a lot of things in there. Being at Starfleet Academy in itself was kind of interesting and kind of a nice thing to go see Starfleet Academy. As a Star Trek fan, I appreciated a lot of that. And I think, well, good old buddy Ed Lauder. That guy's a great actor. He's always a bad guy. He was Josh's father in this, getting to see old Ed Lauder. I always liked that actor for some reason. But seeing him and Boothby and seeing some of Starfleet Command and the whole story itself, I have no real that much of a problem with it. Just it's a return back, another having to put up with Wesley again.
Yeah,
and I just don't. And it's kind of kills. It's a buzzkill for me when all's said and done.
I totally agree, Captain. I just want to just say a couple of things. I have to interject in order to move the show forward. Very important. Megacropper, you seldom make that error, and I have seen your star. And don't worry, it's in the captain's file. He's
you're fine.
Thank you so much for apologizing. And you don't usually make mistakes like that. It's okay, sweetheart. I don't mind at all. You're good. Megacropper, you are no trouble at all. You never are.
Right.
So don't worry about it. And Lord Thoth, as many of you know, nerds are academics and geeks are experts, collectors, engineers, gamers.
Right.
I have no idea what an ROTC officer or ROTC is, and the block text actually doesn't explain it. And that's not very good writing. Usually, even if someone said the acronym, you should explain what it is. And here we have our wonderful Lord Thoth giving us the ROTC, which is Reserve Officer Training Corps. So for all of the nerds out there who are not geeks, for all the academics out there who have never been in any type of military situation, you're not into engineering, perhaps you're into literature, humanities, social sciences, maybe you're a historian. If you're a nerd and you have no idea what it means, I just want to say right now, turn your attention to our magnificent Lord Thoth, who has explained it is Reserve Officer Training Corps. And thank you for that, LT. Love, love, love you.
Yeah. Thank you, LT. Yes. But yeah, like Ed Lauder, he was a good guy in the Death Wish 3. He was a good guy in the Rocketeer sort of as well. I'm just saying the guy's always kind of anyway, but I like Ed Lauder, and I like, again, a lot of good scenes in it. It's I don't know. And yeah, it's kind of fun to be at Starfleet, and I like Boothby. So anyway, go with your notes.
Okay, so these are the notes that I took while I was watching the episode. Wesley once told Picard that Boothby didn't remember him. Now Boothby and Picard are really close, sharing intimate experiences and secrets. And then I wrote, Wesley has no honor. He has no integrity whatsoever. And then I wrote, this episode is about choosing friends instead of the truth, choosing people you work with over the truth, despite the death of one of your friends. This is disgusting, and Gene would be appalled. Please hold your reviews, folks.
Yes, everyone, hold your reviews till I give you the... Papa Delta's new here, but yes, I only told you reviews till we call from him. That's okay, Papa.
It's okay. I got you, Papa Delta Yankee. I absolutely love your name too. And then I put in my notes, worst of all, they did this they did this story to the gene insert after Gene died. Now, when I say the gene insert,
Yes.
if you're wondering what I'm talking about, folks at home, it's that Wesley Crusher was named after Gene Roddenberry. Of course, that's Gene Roddenberry's middle name. And Gene always wanted to have a character like that so he could explore what it would be to be a precocious, you know, prodigy of a child on a starship like this. And so he imbued the character with his own longings, his yearnings, and so it's pretty awful, and I think it's pretty unnecessary. We've already said goodbye to Wesley. The Wesley self-insert was abused by production staff and writers, a suck-up mechanism to the boss, and obviously it basically ruined the character. And the person who plays Wesley Crusher, Will Wheaton himself, didn't help matters with his behavior and the things that he would say in interviews about, not wanting to be on the show, that he had a big career ahead of him, and so on and so forth. So this is yet another of this sort of let's do this now that Gene is dead. I don't like it. And then in my notes I put, you chose your team over truth. This is insane, and it goes against everything Gene Roddenberry believed in. So I would just like to say that first duty is not the first duty. It should not be spelled with a U. It should have 2 O's in it. This is pure crap to me. I hate it. I think it's immoral. I think it's an unnecessary behind-the-scenes stab at Gene Roddenberry. It resurrects this insert character that was taken too far and used as a suck-up mechanism. And then what they do is they strip down that character that's supposed to be Gene, and they turn him into a despicable piece of crap. And I think it's mean, and it's obvious that this was done to Gene, and that they're on this little, the cat's away, the mice will play. But the mice are being cruel, unnecessarily cruel, and they're being very anti-Star Trek. So for me, this is crap.
Well, let's see here. So that's basically the notes on there. I got something for you then.
That's it. That's all I got, boss.
Oh, okay. So you want to see this then?
Yes. Call on the Clawbony.
You're in the Clawbony.
Clean up this duty. And like Hungry Boy says, break out the rat traps.
What is your rating of the first duty?
This is a D.
Hey, hey there, Bruce Lombardo. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Bruce.
All righty then. Well, yeah, I gave it a C-. I mean, I don't know. I thought there was some okay stuff, and it didn't bother. I mean, again, how many? I don't know how many people are going to interpret it, or going to look at that and go, "This episode insults," or would even occur to them that this episode wouldn't be an insult to Roddenberry. You know these things, but most people, they're either going to like it or they're not. So I have that until I heard you talk about that. It never entered into my mind, so couldn't hardly put it into my review or anything. I just, because I would not have even thought about it. So you just said these words to me. We don't talk before the show, everyone. Parrothead, look.
Yay!
You and I never
margarita.
We never discussed the episodes. For those who don't know, we never. Raquel and I never know what the other one is going to say about an episode until we review it on air.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't pre-read the book, and we never give each other our evaluations. We wanted to be organic, like we were meeting the con, and we just wanted to talk turkey. Yeah, D. Bud Martin, definitely duty with OO.
I see what you're saying. I never would have even thought about that though. The whole thing that you're talking about with Gene, would never have occurred to me. It just just wouldn't have. But I mean, not that I disagree with you. I mean, I see what you're saying. I was just not so. And most people probably don't think along those lines, so they don't judge the episode there. So I can't be fair and put that into my review. I can't really put that into my review, but I understand you. So what I would simply say is, let's just be honest. Wesley destroys just about any episode he's in, even one that I think has interesting things in it. Like I said, Starfleet. It's kind of good to be at Starfleet in an episode.
Yes.
The story, I don't find it to be an invalid type of a story with the cadets screwing up at Starfleet. Doing a story about something along those lines. I like Boothby in it. I like certain aspects that we see. And I think, by the way, when he told him that Boothby didn't remember him, then he said he explained who he was, and then he did remember, and Boothby told him to go to find that tree where he carved his name in the initials.
Yeah, I know, but still, like, anyway, it's just that then afterwards we sort of have Boothby walking away with all of these, sort of pretending like he's holding a lot of secrets for Picard, and that Picard was up to a lot of hijinks at Starfleet and was a bit of a troublemaker and had people sort of holding his secrets for him so people wouldn't know that he was getting himself into a bit of trouble. And so it's not necessary in the writing to take it that far. And it would have been nice if they would have, for continuity's sake, said something like, you've sent him here, and I pretended like I didn't know who you were. Then I sent him over to your tree, and I didn't tell him any of your secrets. But I think this is what this kid is up to. But I don't think this kid's gonna come out on the other end a good kid. This kid is taking it too far. Somebody's died.
Start your reviews, everybody. Go ahead.
So if that would have been the exchange, then I think I could live with it.
Start your reviews, everyone. So
the word's been given. Please go ahead and give your grade, and then a very short comment. I will star them, and the captain will read them.
Yes. So, like I said, I wouldn't. I mean, I can't. It wouldn't be fair to me to swing in mid review and add that. But I am fascinated by what you said, and certainly don't disagree. So, I mean, but I just anytime you see an episode with Wesley, I'm automatically. And again, look. I'm sorry, everyone. It's a bias. It is. I am biased against an episode with Wussy Crusher. I mean, I don't like him, and it's just tough to get really that involved in an episode where he's. I mean, there are episodes that are still good that he's in, but when it's all about him, it's rough. So while you're doing that, I will start off. Mega Cropper says B+. Thank you, Mega Cropper. And Papa Delta Yankee says B-. Wesley heavy episode, but we do get to see him grow up and do the right thing. Also, nice lore building for. But I am being pulled away to another stream, so I got to go. Have a good night. Well, Papa Delta Yankee, thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate seeing you. Thank you so much. And have a great rest of the night, sir. Let's see. JT Kirk says D+. The tribunal room looks like a studio conference room dressed with styrofoam. This episode deserves a Claboni starburst, where the polishing oil is on fire behind the Claboni's in information. Wow, JT was not fond of this episode. That's the vibe I'm getting off you, JT. Could be wrong. And here we go. Eric K says D+. Wesley was the best of us. How could someone as good as you fail? Wesley made Nick change his name and leave Federation space. Wesley learned nothing and did not want to make anyone proud. Duty.
Yeah. I'm glad people are giving it a D. It's just like these people have spent, as I've spoken about on many occasions during this show, the entire cast and writers' room constantly talked about how miserable they were. And they constantly talked bad about Gene Roddenberry. And many of them, fibbed, exaggerated, but many of them also just full on lied, as we have proven on this show time and time again, about what Gene said and what Gene didn't say, and about how restrictive they found his utopia, and that he wanted people to be good, and he wanted people to be the best of themselves, and to really strive to be good human beings who were seeking to edify themselves and make their lives meaningful. And so they've spent so much time crap talking that this was their opportunity to address Wesley. This was their opportunity to address those morals. And now that he's passed away, now we're seeing not only the self-insert being attacked, but the entire idea of doing the right thing. And even in the episode proper, now that's within the text, but even on the exterior of the text, how this fundamentally shifts the messages that a Star Trek usually sends, and how that defies the expectation of the audience in a really negative way that really harms the image of Star Trek.
Mr. Angel, C minus. Swiping the Wesley hate aside for a sec, this might be the only Wesley episode I slightly like, because it shows that even with all his annoying brilliance, Wesley is still a flawed kid, human as all of us. That's a good point. Lord Thoth says, C, mixed opinion. The Academy stuff is interesting, but this is a terrible example for Starfleet cadets to follow.
Yeah.
Lead by example is principle of leadership number one. Come clean, tell the truth, imagine.
Yeah, and that's somebody who leads people in an organization. Lord Thoth, if you don't know who Lord Thoth is, he does lead people in an organization, and it does have to do with law enforcement. And I totally agree, LT. I just think that it's just wrong.
Pleasant Valley Picker says, C. Let's face it, any episode that features Wesley is fighting an uphill battle. That's a good point. Maybe could have been an interesting episode with more nuanced, thoughtful writing, examining the topic. Mm-hmm. Well said, sir. Let me find your second one if I can.
Or even if he just would have ultimately ultimately he would have did the right thing, I think I could be okay with it. But it's just very, very strange the way that they kept on hammering. It's almost as if they argued so much about it in the writer's room that they included their argument in the script. So they just kept on hammering home this idea of choose your team before you choose to do the right thing. And it's just weird as hell.
Let's see. I have to agree with Raquel. Should have been titled The First Duty.
Well, thank you, BC.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Now, number one, if you will take not only this one, but the next one, we have Antiderivative Jill.
Oh,
I guess you only has one here. But go ahead and take that one, and I will go for Enigmatic Drop Bear after that.
No problem. So Antiderivative Jill is a communications officer here, a regular part of our crew. She is an officer. Antiderivative Jill is a wonderful nerd, fellow INTJ. She's going to go ahead and give this sucker an F. And I love it, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. She says, I've become increasingly indignant at Wes's lying even after Picard discovers the truth. Strip him of his rank. Send him to Earth to be a civilian. Wes, they should have expelled all of us. Well, yes. Love you, Jill. Boom, drop the mic.
Yep.
Boom, drop the mic. That is the only marquee I need to see tonight. Although I'm excited to see the other ones.
ED.
I totally agree with you, Jill. It's
Indeed.
Just, beautiful. Enigmatic Drop Bear, the erudite bear. He's got an Esh pit. It's a 6-parter. He's given this sucker a D. At the commencement of this episode, we discovered that Picard was the only remaining person in the universe, aside from Dr. Crusher, who was looking forward to seeing Wesley Crusher. 2 of 6. Oh my goodness. This story is a Roman attempting to correct previous flaws in Wesley's character development. I am completely unfamiliar with that word. Unfortunately, too much water has flowed under the bridge, and the character is irretrievable.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's the boss that they were pumping all those.
Too.
3 of 6. Picard's castigation of Wesley was the principal instrument in this attempt at redemption. More of this was needed in the past to avoid Wesley the Wunder Kid, which was a show trope at this point. Yes, and it really peeved off DC Fontana. 4 of 6. Just a note on the physics of this incident. Ships 10 meters apart, traveling at 80,000 kph, with 2 seconds to beam out after the collision is not possible. They're all dead. 5 of 6. Starfleet legal processes are more lenient than our present processes. If it were now, The offenders would be court-martialed and most likely indicted for manslaughter. Yeah, that is true. That's true. That's what I was thinking. Um, Even if the kid joined in, they killed the kid doing something illegal. Anyway,
Yep.
6 of 6. Although it was great to see my favorite Martian, the placement of his character Boothby was out of place. I love my favorite Martian. They could have done a much better job of writing that character into this story. I totally agree. Raquel, JT Kirk says, Raquel, it's German. Bildungsroman is like a teen coming of age novel where they learn something moral. Well, isn't that beautiful? I'm just going to put that up on the screen just for a second so everyone can see that. Bring on all of your beautiful words from all over the world and all
Excellent.
your gorgeous languages. I love you all. Bill Dung's Roman. Sexy, sexy words. Love it. And thank you, JT Kirk.
Thank you, JT Kirk. Welcome. I mean, and thank you. Good to see you. Hungry Boy says, D. West plus badly composed jargon, navel gazing veneered as deep consideration of duty. A waste of Ed Lauder, yes.
Wow.
As Cartman says, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Oh my God, I love Hungry Boy. Wow, what a
Zathras.
well-wrought, sassy response. I just love it, Hungry Boy.
Zathras says, A plus. Wesley sucks. A plus. Locarno is Tom Paris. Let's face it, the producers didn't want to pay residuals for the writer for 7 years of Voyager. Plus, no Ashley Judd. Great episode. I'm all confused by you and that one, brother.
I think he's pulling your leg, Captain.
I don't know what to think there, buddy. Did we miss some of Mr. Tickle Trunks? Because I got 3 of 3 from him. I didn't.
When I read, it's more difficult for me to track down any new ones. So let me go and have a look through.
Okay. Well, if you can find those, we'll wait for them, and I will do some of the other ones.
We did, ED, right?
If you can.
Of course we did.
Say again? Yes.
That's great.
Phantom Outsider shows. C. This episode is the reason Wesley has no future in Starfleet. He was an unprincipled rat. No one likes a rat. Same that you make a mistake. Same that you make a mistake, and they kick you out of Starfleet on a 4. Okay. Hang on, Phantom. Got to find it, buddy.
Oh my goodness,
What?
Mr. Tickle Trunks, number 1 and number 2 are not here. Even when I go all the way up to 19 minutes past the hour and 18 minutes past the hour.
Weird. Let me check something.
Yeah, some weird stuff's going on. Mazarus was saying that he couldn't even post, that his posts were missing, like his chat was missing, like he couldn't participate. And now I haven't even seen him all night. I hope he didn't get blocked by stupid YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Mazarus is a friend of mine, so.
Mazarus, you said
Mazarus? Mr. Tickle Trunk just reposted them, and now I can see them.
You got them?
I love you.
Good,
Thank you,
good.
Mr. Tickle Trunk. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Sweetheart, they really weren't there, so I do love you. Thank you.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Let's see here. Where are we at now? Where were I? It also okay. It also showed Picard's future of bending the knee. Oh no, Kirk stealing the Enterprise was wrong. Putting your hands first, putting your friends first is wrong, right, Picard? Okay, let's see here. What was that, number 2? Something's wrong with my chat. Why is it not highlighting this?
Chat's being weird. It's not you, boss. Don't worry about it. Just take it slow and you'll find everything you need. But there are some comments that are being deleted by YouTube, and some people are having difficulty. And Dee Mars, who is an old friend of all of ours, he's saying that it's like even freezing for him and stuff. So don't worry, Captain. Just hold on to your hat. It's a little windy. We're going to be fine.
Okay, yeah, I'm just having some issues over here, everyone. Well, we will get everything, though. I was trying. Yeah, hang on. So let me just get this straightened out here. All right. All right. Where am I at? Okay. The current first officer of the Enterprise was a shining beacon of Starfleet virtue. Cough! Pegasus, cough. Kids trying to do a band maneuver, meaning at one point it wasn't banned. Right.
Mhm.
That's that's true. Let's see here. All right. Hang on a second there. Oh, there he is. Number 4. Okay, we got you there. All right, let's figuring things out here, folks. So Starfleet didn't want people to do that maneuver. Simply don't allow that maneuver to be entered into training navigation systems. So the fault is with the school. It's lawsuit time. Oh my goodness. So
Oh
do we
my.
have Mr. Tickle Trunk's other ones now? You
We
got those right?
do, and I just want to say, D. Bud Martin, thank you so much. Please stay on that because things are going funky and wonky on
Oh,
this
thank
side
you,
for
D-Bud.
both Clobby and I appreciate it very much. And I just want to thank Mr. Tickletrunk for keeping his comments in a little text file on the side of his computer. That is just brilliant. And I wanted to let you know, boss man, that our friend Gil Cardinal Sin just walked through the door and he
Hey,
has left you a very generous and kind present. I start it
what's
for you.
up?
It's in your start file, boss man.
Okay.
Evening,
Gil,
Cardi.
what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. Glad to see you there. I can't see anything actually because I can't see my chat, but I know you're there now. So because my eyes are off of it when I'm doing all these chats and stuff here. So, but great to see you, or great to know that you're here. Put it like that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Mr. Tickle Trunk says F F F F F F F, and the F gets an effing F. The first duty, indeed. This episode was also never about the truth, but more like a number
Yeah,
2 with a side order of
yeah,
boring, immature teenage drama. Wow,
yeah.
I don't think he likes this episode very much. I'm going
I
to go
don't
way out
either.
on a limb there.
Love it.
How dare you? Here we go. Beverly was in denial for too long, and we get too much of the self-inserts duty face. I can't stand that duty-eating grin.
Yep.
At least we got to see Wesley unhappy through most of the episode. Yeah, seeing Wesley
Yeah.
unhappy is pretty good. I'll
And
give you that.
Mr. Tickletrunk raises a very good point. Bev, she really takes a back seat here. It's not her walking in there to compel her son to be an honorable man, to show that he has morals and ethics and that she's raised him to be a great boy. And now he's a man. What kind of parenting is this? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk, I totally agree. And that's not something I thought about until you mentioned it, but it is such a salient point. Why doesn't Bev come forward and very sternly say, you're not the boy I raised. You're not the man I know you to be. What are you doing? You were a part of another kid getting killed. What's wrong with you? And I love that you said that, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Excellent point. And it is Beverly out of character, Mr. Tickle Trunk. It is. I love that you just put that in the chat. Totally.
We were only told, but never shown. I think it means why they looked up to Tom Paris.
Hmm.
Most insulting of all to me is that Wesley says he's sad that he lied to everyone, but he doesn't say I'm sorry someone died.
Oh my God, I love you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. See, these are the morals and the ethics and the type of character that are. This is real Star Trek. Mr. Tickle Trunk is more Star Trek than this episode. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Eric Carroll says, despite the focus on our least favorite character, uh, this one has a very important moral lesson. C plus. Okie dokie. Thank you so much, Eric Carroll. Kal-El says, D. I understand that Wesley had to pay for what he had done, but why were the rest of the students at Starfleet Academy punished by having him repeat his final year on campus?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shite, huh? Oh Lord. Nick Locarno, as well as the rest of the cadets involved in the incident, should have been not only expelled from the academy, but also charged with criminal gross
Yes.
negligence in regards to, let's see here, Josh's death,
Yes.
resulting in prison sentences. Picard's speech about duty and honor helping Wesley make the right decision to tell the truth is the only reason why this episode didn't get an F. There you go, Cal. Well, I hear you, sir. A Superman fan indeed. Michael Beacom says D. TNG 365 block text solidifies the counter Trek sentiment I sensed here.
Mhm.
Lying and covering up when a death is involved,
Love you.
relying on your Starfleet brass family contacts to extricate your ass.
Love you, Michael.
So here.
Hammer it down, Michael.
Got to find this next one here. There we go. Trying to avoid the political, but I bet a certain trying to avoid the political, but I bet a certain ex-NY governor and his ex-CNN anchor brother would agree with this cover-up. Friends over truth. It's the same attitude. Shame on you, Moore and Shankar. Moore did the new BSG and Shankar did the Expanse, right? Shankar worked did the Expanse. Did he create that?
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I
I'm
just
not
know
sure. I
that
know the
about
name.
his
Evan Shankar?
involvement and the crap that he did here. And I have to tell you, Michael Beacom, thank you for showing what a real, true Trekkie, Mr. Tickle Trunk, Anti-Derivative Jill, LT, Michael Beacom, Kal-El, everyone, just all of you coming forward to say, this is not Star Trek. This is not the Star Trek we know and love. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
Well, I read this one. I don't see a number 1 for Wolfie. I got a number 2. Did I miss a number? Did I read him or something? Let me get the Felicianos here. Sandra Feliciano says C-. These cadets showed a lack of integrity first by blatantly defying the rules and second by lying about it. They should have all been expelled and given a bad conduct discharge.
Yep.
And there's someone who would know about that kind of thing because she has experience, in military. So, Raymond says C-. The cadet code of the U.S. Air Force Academy. We will not lie, steal, or cheat, nor tolerate among us anyone who does. Furthermore, I resolve to do my duty and live honorably. Enough said. Thank you so much to the great Raymond Feliciano. I've seen 2 through 4 of Wolfie's. I don't know what number happened to his number 1.
I'm looking right now. There's weird stuff happening in this chat, though. Even comments that D. Bud Martin are now in the chat that weren't there before. And it's like from like 5-10 minutes ago. And he's said some really cool stuff. It's just the chat's been weird. I don't get it.
Let's see here. J.D. Lewis says Roddenberry is neither God or devil. He was just a man doing the best job he could. People should stop deifying or demonizing him. D. Well, I've always been of that mindset as well. I love the guy for what he gave us. I really love him for that.
Yes.
But I don't deify him and there's some idiots that are too quick to demonize him and say bad things about him. And that aggravates me just as much as if you were trying to deify him. I don't like either one of those, to be honest. That's just me.
Yeah, me neither. But the thing is, J.D. Lewis, about Roddenberry is that he wasn't out there crap talking everyone, and unfortunately, on the other side, it's a whole bunch of people just constantly at war with what he created and trying to say how they could have done what he created a lot better. And so, for me, you're going to hear me defending him here because I think he's a wonderful writer. Does that mean he's a god? Certainly not. I don't think of him as a god, but I do think of him as a marvelous author who created a cultural phenomenon worldwide, and who was also very honorable and treated everyone wonderfully.
Yes.
And was stabbed in the back and demonized behind his back for no reason. But yeah, I mean, he did die someone who abused a great deal of drugs. Like Stephen King and Edgar Allan Poe and many authors, he abused a lot of substances and they wound up killing him. And he really liked women, and he slept around, and he had a mistress, and whether his wife knew about that, no one can say, and no one gets to say because that's their private business. But am I sick and tired of constantly reading these texts where everyone says all this bad stuff about him and he says nothing but great things and speaks hopefully, and how people find that difficult to write in and difficult to work in, and they didn't like his costumes, they didn't like his fish, and they didn't like his ship, and they didn't like his morals. You know, it's just for me, I like to leave it plain. You are right. He is neither, divine nor disgusting. We just have to tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything you said, and we're going to talk about that in the next episode.
Well, let's see. Let's try to speed this up here. It is getting way behind the eight ball, and I'm missing all these different. There's nothing I can do about missing. For example,
They're
this
not here.
second. Okay. Tim, you already. This is another one by Michael Beacom. Already did his second one. This is a different second one of his. So I don't know. Tempted to use real world examples, but basically the cover for your friend's attitude is one that has led to many real world scandals. Kirk sometimes fudged the rules, but never for his own benefit. That's a very, very good point, Michael Beacom. Let's see here.
Zakarot 315 just walked through the door, as well
Hey,
as
Zakarot.
Scuba Pete
Oh my goodness, Scuba, what's up, dude?
and Leslie and family. Love all you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Zakarot, hello there. I'm missing some stuff here.
I
I'm
am
try
too.
to, yeah. By the way, I want to say Cardinal Sin for the 1999 Super Jack. Thank you so much, buddy. He said, I apologize, Clubby. Hey, you have nothing to apologize for. Number one, for being so late. I hope you'll forgive me, but I'm here now. No, that's it. We're not forgiving you now that you said that. We are putting you in the agony booth. Time to punish Cardinal Sin for daring to be late. Now don't you be silly, brother. We're just glad to see you. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Let's see here. Okay, now Wolfie, I don't know what number one is, man. I'm sorry. I don't if they dumped it on us or what. So I'm going to start with your number two, and I'm going to apologize to you if you can get that number one to me.
Yes.
Go for it. Actually, I'll put it off. I'll do a couple singles and then try to get to you. Because did you get Mr. Tickle Trunks number one?
No.
Oh, we still don't have his number one. Okay.
I don't have his number one. I've looked all the way through and I can't find it. And Mark has filed his caboose. So if anyone can see that, please go ahead and repost that for me. I love Mr. Tickle Trunk, and I definitely want to read every single thing he ever says. So it would be great that if we've missed Mr. Tickle Trunk and we've missed something that he said, please let me know.
They're not an X-Amanda B, because I like Boothby and Paris, but Wesley was so lame in this episode once again. Well, I'm with you there. Thank you, Neuron and Amanda Bear.
Captain, Mr. Tickle Trunk said, "Don't worry, you read my one of three," with a little smile. Yep, everything's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Well, here's number two then. Sorry about that. I got discombobulated there. Sorry. Here we go. Beverly was in denial for too long, and we get too much of the self-inserts duty face, and I can't stand that duty-eating grin. At least we got to see Wesley unhappy for most. Oh, I did that one too. So I forgot I did.
And Eric wants you to know that Wolfie only had one. And Mr. Tickle Trunk saying, "Don't worry, you read all three of mine."
I forgot. I forgot to unstart. Unless you started them again or something.
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I forgot to unstart them. I'm an idiot. Well, Wolfie, I'm sorry, brother. I can't find one. So at least tell us what your rating is then, because I can't. And if you want to put one again, go for it. And I'm sorry, man. I don't know what happened to it. It may have got eaten. But his number two is. You can argue that this is a wholly different character than the Wesley we have seen so far, but more realistic. They probably could have used some other character, some other. Seeing Starfleet Academy and Boothby is probably the best part of this episode. I like the idea of the Navy traditions in with hearing a court-martial. Sito is another great character that they explore later and kill off. Spoilers. Okay, well. Anti-derivative Jill.
And Eric just put up Wolfie's A-. Tom Paris, Suxley, and the dead Bajoran walk into a bar. If you can see that.
Hang on a second. That's where Jill put A+ review to Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Yes, because it was a fabulous review.
Okay. Lord Thoth says, his ego forbids him from saying, I'm sorry. Did TLT have a review? I don't remember seeing.
He did. But when we were engaging him, it's just we fell behind, and I just wanted to make sure his comment was brought to light.
Did I read LTs? I don't remember reading LTs. Okay. My memory is garbage. I'm sorry, everyone. Wolfie. Here's Wolfie's number one. An A minus. Tom Paris, Suxley, and a dead Bajoran walk into a bar. There you go. Now this is. Thank you, Jill, so much. By the way, now this is a Wesley we can get behind. A lying, stupid teen who will throw anyone under the bus to stay out of trouble. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
Jill, and thank you, Wolfie. That is so true.
yes, and Eric. Eric retrieved that for you as well, boss man.
And Eric, thank you, brother. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, man. Mark D with a C, the great chief engineer with the caboose, says C minus. Episode raised an interesting discussion about honor and the truth versus covering for friends. Covering for friends. Starfleet officers should have higher standards. Wesley totally failed in this regard.
Yes.
Making the easy choice and falling for peer pressure. This was a life and death issue, not some college prank gone wrong. Like the moments with Boothby and Picard telling off Wesley. Picard, if you can't find it within yourself to stand up to tell the truth about what happened, you don't deserve to wear that uniform, you little prick. So get off my ship, you little shit. Episode would have been more logical and made much more of an impact if the man-child had been kicked out of Starfleet. I've got a video that fixes that later. It's funny you should mention that, everyone, because we have a special bonus feature for this episode's review. Thanks to the great Mark D with a C.
Cadet, I asked you a question. Am I correct?
I choose not to answer, sir.
You choose not to answer? That answer was a lie.
I said the accident occurred after the loop. It did.
But a lie of omission is still a lie. Do you remember the first day you came aboard this ship? Your mother brought you on the bridge.
Yes, sir.
You even sat in my chair. I was annoyed. Presumptuous child playing on my ship. The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to...
I'm sorry, I had to stop it. I hadn't known it was that long. I'm going to get in trouble. So that's a part of that one, everyone. Dude, how long is that clip? You there, number one?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know. I haven't seen this clip, and it's footage from my original Wesley video, but I didn't make this one. Mark did, and I don't know how long it.
No, I know. I was just asking him. He hears me. Dude, I'm sorry. I can't. If that's probably going to get me struck or get me in trouble. I didn't know it would be that long. So I would have kept it going, everyone. I'm sorry I didn't get the show at all, but it's not that I was probably too late, but I just figured I didn't know how long the thing was going to go on, dude. So,
Captain, you have 2 wonderful super chats waiting for you in your starred file.
Thank you so much, everybody. Cardleson, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. He says, hail anti-derivative, Jill, Eric K, Mods and Chats, and hail to Clope. Huh? To Clope and number 1, Raquel Briggs. This is a much-needed service that you provide. Kudos to you and your channel, sir. And right back at you to your great channel. Everyone, please go subscribe to the Cardinal Sin if you haven't already. Thank you, buddy. You were too kind to say those nice words. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and I think that was just autocorrect because when you try and type Clobby, autocorrect or autocomplete will try and create whole new words for you. So I'm sure that Gil put Clobby, but it became Clopey.
No problem. Clobby was devastated by this. He does not include this in the shrine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric K, for that wonderful super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Stop telling
I need to interject very quickly and just say that the wonderful, the gracious Sandra Feliciano has to leave. She has a very early morning tomorrow. And so she just wants us to know that she would like to leave. And
okay, Sandra.
So good night, sweetness. And everyone, please say good night to Sandra.
Have a great one, Sandra. And sorry about that, Mark. I just didn't think I could be playing it that long. I had to stop it, man. I don't know. I had no idea how long that was going to be. You can't learn those things that long on I mean, I can anyway. Bruce Lombardo, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You were too kind, buddy. My girlfriend is in the background listening to you two discuss Star Trek to the Next Generation and getting a kick out of it. She loves the passion you two have for this. Well, shout out to your wonderful girlfriend, Bruce.
Yeah.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you. And it's great to have you here. We're ready now. We're going to move on to our next episode.
Let's do it. We're rolling on to the third episode of this evening, which is Cost of Living. Season 5, Episode 20. We all watched this. Well, most of us watched it for the first time on April 20th, 1992. And you know what? Let's stay copyright compliant. I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and receives the blessing of everyone involved in the TNG. Please turn your hymnal to page 253, where I will read extemporaneously. Let's give her, as they say in Canada. As if the presence of Lwaxana Troi, who has arrived with the startling news that she plans to marry a man she has never met, isn't bad enough, the Enterprise begins to experience a bizarre number of systems malfunctions that gradually increase in severity. Geordi and Data trace the problem to metallic parasites that infested the ship as it passed through an asteroid field. But with the life support system failing and the crew's oxygen supply running out, it's obviously too late to call in the exterminators. Michael Westmore's second TNG Emmy win for outstanding individual achievement in makeup for a series was this fanciful holodeck creation in Cost of Living. Thanks to the holodeck, I never knew what sort of characters I'd be called upon to create, Westmore says. For Cost of Living, he devised the strange group of characters on the opposite page. Of course, they're provided here in the block text, all of whom inhabited the Parallax colony on Shiralia 6, a favorite destination apparently for Lwaxana Troi. There was a fire sculptor who had an elaborate set of head appliances, the dancer whose entire body had to be painted, and the poet whose wig and beard were made of rope. The makeup designer elaborates. We literally used dyed hemp for his hair, hand laying each strand. And we had a lot of fun doing the juggler, who wore a nose piece, and his ears that wrapped around his head, an idea I had for a long time. For a more whimsical look, we added spiked hair and eyebrows that grew up in the center of his forehead. Robert Blackman also received an Emmy that year for outstanding individual achievement in costume design for a series, although most likely not for the ensemble that Lwaxana wore for her wedding ceremony. And that is all the block text has to say about Cost of Living. Quick and dirty, boss. So, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of the episode?
Well, interesting coverage there. The episode I thought was it was just kind of just an episode to me, but I love her so much, and I kind of thought some of the stuff between her and Alexander was sweet, and I found it to be a fairly watchable, fairly just kind of enjoyable. Not much of it, nothing really spectacular, but certainly nothing that I could say that is that I could say I disliked. I found it to be very agreeable.
Me too.
But again, I just love Lwaxana Troi so much.
Me too.
And I thought that was a fun bit. Some of the stuff with not so much with Mr. Woof's kids. I love what she calls him that. I'm sorry, I love it.
It's
Mr.
beautiful.
Woof. But so it was really cute, the stuff with her and Alexander, I thought.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a fun episode. It was all right.
Yeah, I like this episode too. The new fans absolutely hate this episode.
Really?
I don't give it like super high marks, but I could explain that in my notes.
Well, go for it with the notes then. Go for it.
Okay, this is a comedy episode. Lwaxana teaches Deanna and Mr. Woof how to parent properly. This is long awaited for Star Trek fans. Magel, however you want to say it around the world, is delightful. And so is wee little Brian. Lwaxana is the perfect grandmother. The absurd fantasy world on the holodeck which is slightly scary and bizarre, is like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
This is very Mad Hatter in
I like that
space.
scene.
Acting isn't super strong on the holodeck, but the point is made, especially by getting dirty in the mud bath. So this is grandma allowing him to get dirty, right? And that's something that grandmas let you do. Grandmas let you get dirty. And of course, this wonderful idea of eating the glassware. Again, we're calling upon that Mad Hatter, that slightly scary and slightly bizarre Alice in Wonderland, beyond the looking glass type thing. And I think it's a bit of genius here. I definitely, in an academic document, or academic manuscript, I would definitely call this a type of illusion. I would argue it as illusion. Um, I love that Loaxana says to Diana that she was exposed to her whole life and still turned out, and I quote, deadly dull.
Yeah.
Evening, no one. Welcome.
No one. You are
And
someone here.
yes, you are, Nemo. So, and then I wrote, worst parenting sucks. And poor little Alexander's life is absolutely awful. Loaxana is a wonderful and I'm sorry, Loaxana is wonderful at disrupting insufferable, suffocatingly stiff windbag people. And rules just for the sake of rules is meaningless. Rules should have purpose for children. Obedience in itself is cruel and doesn't cultivate the child's mind or behavior. Worf has no bond or intimacy with his son. Emotional trust is lacking. The B story really weakens this episode. It's meh. But I love Loaxana coming in to 10 forward in the nude. Good girl. And baby, at your age, you look perfect. I love you so much. And then I put a giant exclamation point. I said, the final scene is absolutely hysterical. This is not the strongest story, but who doesn't love Loaxana Troy? And the new fans hate this episode. I do
Really?
not. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Let me star that one. Well, I'll tell you what. What do you rate this episode? Don't worry about it, Thoth. We got you. We got the star system now, buddy.
I got you, Lord Thoth. Don't you
Yeah.
worry, sweetheart.
This
The
new
second
star
I
system
see
thing
one
really
of
helps.
those ratings, I star it immediately.
And you're a
It-
member. You're a member of the crew, so you know your
Yes.
security. You're she's security, so you're fine.
Yes.
But yes, everyone, hold off just a sec. We'll ask in just a minute. So, number one, what is your rating of cost of living?
The B story weakens this. And I think that they just should have went with the Loaxana storyline. I absolutely love the way that she lays a spanking on everyone here and becomes the ultimate balanced, best grandma, and everyone could learn from her. This is a B plus for me, boss.
There you go. I'll give it a B as well. Again, just a fun episode, just a delightful episode. I think that scene on the holodeck when she first goes on it with Alexander is a standout for all the reasons you mentioned. It had that fun Alice in Wonderland feel to it. She's just terrific, and this is surprisingly good pairing, her and Alexander. I mean, I think she should have taken him and raised him.
Yeah, and it really makes you think of the previous episode where Worf has to decide whether or not he wants a 3D printed spinal cord. And he goes ahead and asks Diana if she would be his mom, if he were to expire. And so wouldn't that be wonderful if they just would have left this darling little child and this beautiful little young man, Brian Bonsall, I think his last name is, or Bonsall or something. I forget his
Bonsall,
last
yeah.
name.
That's
Bonsall, I think it is. He's a darling little boy, and everyone behind the scenes in the production talked about how much he truly enjoyed being a Klingon. I think this kid is just aces. He's darling, charming, adorable, and he's beautiful with Loaxana. Love, love, love it.
Your agonizer, please. LT. Okay, well, everyone, shoot those reviews out. Let's knock this one out of the park quick. We'll get our speed back because we got two more to go now. So everyone,
The word is given. Please
word
put
is
up
given.
your Yeah,
Review.
do your review rating so that I can identify it immediately because they all rush in by the dozens for me. And then please
Yes,
leave a brief comment.
indeed. As soon as
Oh, and I just got a big dump. So I'm not going to talk for a little while. I'm just going to go and find
cool.
all of your comments. So, Claudia,
Soon
I'll
as
throw it over to you.
soon as yeah, I heard about that. Snell Messiah. It's a shame he did pass. He did pass away. But let's see. As soon as she gets a few of those starred, we will start on them. Thank you all so much. I'm just having a wonderful time, and everyone who is here, whether you're lurking out there or you're in the chat or whatever, thank you. We're just having a blast seeing you all here tonight. Thank you so much. And
Oh, I hadn't heard that Brian Bonsall had died. He's a
yeah,
darling little
yeah,
boy.
a few years ago,
Oh, God
I
rest his
think so. I
soul.
think so. I mean,
Oh,
someone said that, and I've heard it before. I think.
well, geez, now that we've said it, I hope it's not
Mm,
wrong, but he's a
no, it's
darling little boy, and what he did for Star Trek and having such a good time and love being he loved being a Klingon and having the makeup put on him, and he played his character so passionately and immersed himself in the role. He was just so mature and darling. What a marvelous little boy.
indeed, indeed. LT says, C. I barely remember this episode, to be honest. It was mid level. Majel is always fun and nude. Meh. Worf and Alexander just bugs me. Security officers shouldn't have children to make them weak.
Yep,
I gotcha.
that's a great
I
comment.
hear you, buddy. Mr. Tickletrunk says, C. The ship is melting, but we spend so much time on a wedding and a confused child. I understand the need for drama, but so much of this episode's time was wasted, as was the Troy story. Let's see here. Let me find your next one there. Okay. Don't get me wrong. There's some charm in a couple of moments that delighted and made me laugh. Loxana juxtaposed with stuffy bureaucratic types is a perfect match. Sometimes we need a fun filler.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Um, in all seriousness, the scene where all of Loxana's come together in issues come together in a room filled with people was done expertly. The conversation was complicated but easy to follow.
I love that you always spell her name correctly too, Mr. Tickletrunk. I love you. Thank you.
My favorite parts were Loxana in a mud bath, Loxana ordering tea, but instead of getting a cup of marital aids, the protocol master staring at Loxana's chest, and both Troys in a mud bath. Who didn't love seeing that? I mean, let's just be honest.
I love this review. This is such a great review.
This felt like three separate stories pulled from a hat and told to make it work. It has everything. Orange Robo Poo. It has everything. Orange Robo Poo. Mr. Woof's a struggling father and a colorful floating severed head for the kids. Yes, true enough. Thank you, Mr. Tickletruck, for that. Eric Carroll says, this one is a tad bit cheesy, so I'll give it a B.
That's a fair
Fair
comment.
enough. Fair enough. I would have to agree with you. And now Mega Cropper says a B plus, fun episode. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Pleasant Valley Picker says, Troy's mama, oh mama. I get she was supposed to be a free spirit walking to the beat of her own drummer, but just found her annoying. Maybe I'd like it better if I rewatched it. Well, you never know. Rewatching stuff can do that sometimes, so
Yes.
you never know. Pleasant. I've liked stuff better on later viewings. Hungry Boy says C plus. Leaving the Waxana aside since SDTNG, loved evolutionary tropes. Loved evolutionary tropes. It should have remembered this. Evolution decided that camels don't speak, and neither should their toes. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Oh. Attic K gave it a B and said it was a fun episode. The great Eric K. And now, number one, we have two of our dear friends, our wonderful communications officer, and after that, ED. If you would like to do the honors.
I can do that, and I think I have everyone's reviews starred. The only one who hasn't submitted his review yet is Mark, and
Okay.
Mark will give the final warning before he does his. But I think I have everyone, so no one's
Okay.
missing. And so I'm going to do anti-derivative Jill. Beautiful
Go
nerd,
for it.
wonderful INTJ. I love you, Brainiac. Let's hear what you got to say. She's got a 3-parter, and she's giving this a B. Phantom Outsider. Okay, the B story was so severely disjointed from the A plot, and they didn't even bother to try and merge the two, despite loving how Troy eventually deals with her fiance. Yeah, I agree. I love Lawaksana's acting. She'd make a wonderful grandmother, but her choice for personal entertainment is very strange. I feel more like Worf regarding mud baths. Well, that's because you have young kids still, right? Your young kids, you don't want them to get dirty. You don't want them to go off to the slightly scary and sort of weird Alice in Wonderland, right? I'm at grandma age, so let's jump in the mud. Anyhow, 3 of 3, Jill says, I did like that they went back to the field to leave the glitter life form at its food source. It probably wouldn't have survived if they just turned on the nitrium beam, whatever. Yes, that's true. It is true. It's nice that they drop it back off. 1 of 3 for enigmatic drop bear, the erudite bear, the well-wrought comments. Love, love, love. 1 of 3. He's giving this a B. He says Lawaksana tries out being a mail order bride and a grandmother, which she excels at. And the Enterprise has an infestation of cosmic termites. This is a glorious review. I love the way you've written this. 2 of 3. Holy dooly! That scene featuring the mud bath entertainment. Was it wrong to rewind and watch it again? I love you, love you, love you.
Not at all. Was not wrong at all, Edie.
Yes, exactly. The scene where Lawaksana describes loneliness and the need for companionship was quite beautiful, and of course, relevant to the actress at the time. Yes, because her husband just died. And I think that that might be one of the best reviews you've ever done, Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Oh,
You're
no.
making me a
That's
little
always great.
misty-eyed. I love, love, love you. Thank you.
Way to go, Edie. Always great. The Catman, aka D.D. Myers, says, I give this episode a B+. Thought it was an extremely well-written episode. Never get tired watching this episode. Thank you, Catman. Again, I hope you're doing well and your wonderful wife is doing well. And it's great to see you. We're always great to see you here.
Yes, it is. It is.
J.T. Kirk says C+. The episode is forgettable to me, except for one part. How in the blue blazes did they get Mr. Whoop into a mud bath on the holodeck? And if it is a holodeck, would it actually help your skin?
Yes.
I don't
Well,
know.
just so you know, boss man.
Oh,
Just walks in.
all right. M's here. I'm gonna shorten that sometimes. Say in.
I'm getting in trouble now from the mom as a grandma here. I'm getting scolded. Here we have several laughing faces. And Jill says, yes, Raquel, you took my child where? The entertainment was what? Yeah, you're right. I had my mother brain on for that review. So beautiful and perfect. I love you guys so much.
Michael Beacom says C-, or is it a C with a minus? I can't tell. Like
No,
a
he's
minus
put it
separator.
in the
C,
parenthetical.
C.
Yeah.
C, I'm sorry. Majel spent years in the background of the computer voice, so love her taking center stage. She's earned it. She's earned it. Flaws, sure. The Enterprise gets space herpes. More holodeck issues and pseudoscience.
Yes.
I hear you there, Ben. Yep. But it's harmless. It's more of a harmless one, though. Mr. Angel says B+. All right, Chef. A solid episode with 2 of the most likable characters. I am Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he means characters, likable characters in Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry. Simply fun. Whispers, love you, Mrs. Troy.
You guys
Yeah,
are
we
making
love
me
her.
miss
I love her.
Di. This is such a beautiful adult conversation about just life and getting older and having kids and being grandparents and losing our spouses and just you guys are just marvelous. I love you so much. You guys, I look forward to every Saturday because each and every one of you behind these names, you have such marvelous personalities. You are such great people, and I enjoy your company immensely.
You're not an Axaman. The bear says, I give it a B. La Waxana is always great. But why must Alexander's life be so terrible? Yeah, well, I mean, if you think that's bad, what about real Klingons on Kronos? They got treated. I mean, if he gets treated by a human raised Klingon, imagine how crappy it must be to be a kid. I'm sorry, a Klingon kid? I wouldn't want to be one.
That's what
Just saying.
LT was getting at too, though. I like what LT said because LT is speaking not as a viewer; he's speaking as an author. When he made that comment, I'm pretty sure it was LT where he said, the guy who's in charge and is law enforcement has the unruly child that he can't connect with, and that's been played out over and over and over again. And he's a little tired of that. He doesn't like that. He wants it to be more in depth. He wants it to be more sincere. He wants it to be more earnest. And in saying that, LT I think really reveals something that I never thought of before. I love that comment. He made that comment a while ago, by the way.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've seen his review yet.
Yeah.
Have I seen his review yet?
No, it's just
he reviewed it first. Yeah,
he did, yes, but I read everyone's
right.
comments.
Gotcha,
It's also why I kind of
Gotcha.
seem like a screwball or a moron when I'm on air because I'm starring comments. I'm reading everyone's comments. I'm reading from the book and I'm reading from the marquee. So that's why I'm a bit. I seem like a top spinning. Anyway, he said that, but we didn't start. Is what I meant to say.
Kal-El B, a good episode featuring the lovely Loxana Troy. It was a fun episode filled with humorous moments like what Loxana's interactions with Alexander were nice. And as usual, her interactions with Woof, were very entertaining. Overall, it was a fairly decent episode with a humorous ending. Thank you, Kal-El. Phantom Outrider says, B, Mrs. Troy as the defender every young Klingon warrior needs. Mrs. Troy is a force of nature, which is why it wasn't surprising everyone in a mud bath at the end. Also, Brian Bunsell is still alive. Okay, someone said he passed.
So much.
I've heard that before. Someone saying, I shouldn't have, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it then.
That's okay.
Someone mentioned it in the chat.
Yeah, that's why I hate all those user-generated sites, and because Star Trek people have been on the internet for so long, the lies are so ingrained, the factoids are so ingrained that when people have heard it, they honestly believe that it's true, and that's also why I painstakingly don't use any of that user-generated stuff unless it's fully vetted.
My bad for reading that in the chat without vetting it. I apologize, everyone. I trust my chatters, but we all make mistakes, so no hard feelings.
Yeah, and it's great to discuss it, boss man.
Well, I'm glad, Brian, that you're still with us. Although, because you know what, I remember that rumor, though. I think that rumor got spread around a long time, and it turned out to maybe some other actor that they mixed him up with. So that's a rumor that got out there. So it's not just nothing. I think it happened. Yeah. But again, vaguely, if I'm remembering that part right. Yeah. Although he has had a troubled life, but has been clean and sober since 2010, according to him. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you.
That's absolutely
thanks,
wonderful.
Phantom. Appreciate that. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, anti-derivative Jill, she's one of my favorite characters in all of Star Trek. I'm really glad she was written that way, the way she was. Okay, I thought it was. We got his review though, don't we?
Gil, you are such a wonderful person. Gil has sent such a generous a note to you, and I've just started. It's in the starred region. Yeah.
Gil Cardinal, thank you so much, buddy. You're too kind for the $20 super chat. I don't know what to say, man. Thank you so much. I'm honored, and I'm almost speechless, but not too much to read your kind super chat, sir. Yeah. I'd like to make an important point here. While the Loxana Troy was largely played for laughs, she became an important recurring character, and she was, after all, an ambassador, which means she knew better than how she behaved. Yeah, she was a cut up. That's what we love about her. Thank you, Gil. Appreciate you so much. You were too kind, sir. Thank you, my friend. Scuba Pete says, B, hot tub of mud. What's not to like it?
And you know what, Scuba Pete, one day I hope that you and Leslie will come with Andrew and I to the thermal pools, because I really, really want to get to Iceland and to do the geothermal pools. I would love to sit in the mud with all of us sitting together, and we can have a good laugh about this episode. One day we have to get that done. Scuba Pete and your beautiful wife, Leslie.
Right. Let's see. JT2. Raquel Briggs, quick search, no news of Brian Bunsell having passed some legal trouble 2 years back. Okay, well, thank you, J25. I appreciate that.
Thank you, J25.
The great Samonic D with the C Chief Engineer says B plus. Loaxana, Major Barrett is a joy to watch in this episode. She reminds me of my great aunt who would do whatever she wanted, no filters, which was the point of this episode.
Yes, my friend.
To me, she's like the Marx Brothers in all those movies when they went into high society, or Three Stooges, whichever group you prefer. I'm a Marx Brothers guy, though I love the Stooges, and they would just tear things down and make fun of all the stiffs that didn't understand any of their humor.
Yeah.
Loaxana was forcing herself to get married to combat loneliness, which made this even more touching since this was after Jean's death. Yes, yep. The B story is a waste. It actually brought down the episode. Mud baths for everyone. Yeah.
Mark, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. What a beautiful, beautiful review, Mark. I totally agree.
Who's ready to move on to the final episode of the evening?
Well, we were behind time and now we're ahead. Isn't this
I think
lovely?
we're making it. Yeah, we're making some speed now. You ready?
Yeah, we're picking up speed. Yes, boss.
Okay,
man. I'm getting my piece of paper ready. Let's do
our
it.
final episode of the evening, folks.
Yes, here we go.
The perfect mate.
It is the perfect
Take it
mate.
away, number one.
This is season 5, episode 21. This first aired on April 27th, 1992. And wow, did I... Oh, okay, no spoilers, no spoilers. Okay, let's keep copyright compliant, okay? So I'm just going to say for all the copyright police that I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and it, of course, receives the blessing of all involved in the TNG production. Please turn your hymnal, and many of you have a copy of the cinder block, to 254. I'm going to read extemporaneously. Let's go. The Enterprise is sent to transport a beautiful Creosian woman named Kamala to Volt Minor, a world that has been at war with Creos for many years. As an empathic metamorph, a being who can sense her mate's desires and become exactly what he wishes her to be, Kamala is overwhelmingly attractive to all men. She has been prepared since birth to bond with Ulrich, a Volt Minor's ruler, in the hopes of bringing peace to their two planets. But it's a long trip to Volt Minor, and after a conniving Ferengi injures the Creosian ambassador who was to conduct the ceremony of reconciliation, Picard must step in and take his place, thus forcing him to spend considerable time in Kamala's tantalizing presence. From 255. A leopard never changes her spots, but occasionally she loans them out. Former Dutch model Famke Janssen's charismatic performance in The Perfect Mate made as big an impression on the Star Trek producers as her counterpart Kamala did in the Enterprise's male crew members. The episode's production coincided with casting on Deep Space Nine, where Piller and Berman were having a tough time finding the right actress to play Jadzia Dax, their Trill science officer. Suddenly, with Jansen, they thought they'd found the answer to their prayers. But Jansen turned them down. I wanted some kind of guarantee that I could do feature films on the side. Oh, that's interesting that that's what she wanted, because that's what Farrell wanted. Anyway,
yeah,
we'll talk about that later. Jansen recalls. And while I felt Deep Space Nine was a great opportunity, I felt I would get lazy as an actor if I didn't keep challenging myself with different parts. Jansen went on to appear in a variety of films, including a memorable turn as a sexy villainess, Xenia Onatopp, in James Bond's thriller GoldenEye, and 3 turns in the X-Men franchise, once again opposite Patrick Stewart, Patty Stew, little poopy Stew. Months later, Terry Farrell would win the role of Jadzia, but Jansen's imprint on the role would be felt via her sexy spots. Oh, this is in my notes. When TNG viewers were introduced to the trill in The Host, the species sported a pronounced brow ridge, courtesy of Michael Westmore, who was addicted to brow ridges. But the studio didn't like the idea of hiding a beautiful new female character behind a lumpy forehead. Eventually, the footage of Dax in the prosthetic was scrapped, and Westmore substituted spots reminiscent of Kamala's in The Perfect Mate. They worked so well that all Trill characters subsequently introduced bore the spots, consigning the look of Odan in The Host to the mysterious realm of "It Never Happened." From 256. Also in that never happened vein, a fantasy sequence at the end of The Perfect Mate in which Picard imagines rescuing Kamala from the boring life that awaits her on Vault Minor. Oh my goodness, it's actually images of the script and it's quite short. I'm going to read it and I'm going
Go
to do
for
it.
it.
Moving with Picard's eyes extreme close-up, 62 her face, as Ulrich removes the veil. Kamala, I am for you, Ulrich of Vault. And as Ulrich leans forward to kiss her, Picard, I'm sorry, I cannot allow this to proceed. Ulrich turns sharply to Picard. Ulrich, Ulrich says, what did you say? Picard, Kamala will be remaining on board the Enterprise with me. Kamala reacts, looks at Picard. Ulrich says, flabbergasted, with you? Picard says, Chancellor, the trade agreements will be satisfactory. You yourself told me that was your priority. She is mine. Let us begin the real work here of establishing a long and just peace. Ulrich takes a moment to regain his composure. Ulrich says, very well, let us begin, as she smiles with an expression of love for her captain. And now we're going to step out of the script. It's complete, and we're reading once again from the usual text. Although both Pillar and Patrick Stewart liked the sequence, which was shot at the same time as the scene that actually appears in the final episode, Rick Berman ultimately nixed it. And then it says underneath, opposite, Kamala and Ulrich react as Picard intervenes. And that is all the blog text has to say about The Perfect Mate. Some pretty good coverage here. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but what did you think?
Interesting coverage.
And what did you think of the episode, boss man? Spill your guts.
Interesting coverage, but I think I may actually have to recuse myself from reviewing this episode because I don't trust myself alone with it.
Really?
With
Good.
Famke Janssen, anyway. Like Picard, I don't trust myself alone with her. She is just, good God. When I first saw this is the first time I've ever seen Famke. Not the last by any chance of the imagination. I just was, like a lot of males back then, just flabbergasted. I'm sorry. She was just extraordinary. I always thought she was exquisite. And
and she wasn't famous back then either. Let's talk about this in socio-historical context. She was not famous.
No.
This is just a tall, sexy Dutch lady, and no one knows who she
right.
is.
You couldn't have cast her any better for what that that creature is supposed to be and what it does. I mean, I just don't think you could have back then for sure. Anyway, the episode itself, I think, is an okay and interesting story. I think it's good, and it's they're Ilana Troyes, I guess, it's in a sense, or at least it calls back Ilana Troyes to me a little bit. I don't know about you, a little, but I've always found it to be a very interesting episode. But I can't really. My logic, remember when Sarek said my logic is uncertain where my son is concerned. My logic is uncertain where Famke is concerned. So she's just wow. She was even great in GoldenEye and many other things. Yes. Great in everything.
And Marty with the C says, when she said metamorph, I thought she would also change her form, not just her mind. For that, I would have to tell you to look to the prefix, right? When we look at meta and we look at alasso. So right. We have a losomorph would be changing their form, whereas the metamorph
changes
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Just that it means that meta, it means big or more.
Right.
And so you can sort of derive with it, what it could be. maybe something that you would be thinking of, Mark, would be maybe polymorph. So they're just playing with language here. So we have to look at meta, and then we have to look at morph.
Polymorph was taken by Red Dwarf, but
yeah, but a poly, of course, means multiple or many,
right,
and then
exactly.
morph to change, and meta means large or to transform. So metamorph makes sense, whereas allosamorph would be that alien creature where you would definitely not want to get sexy with something that looked like a demonic Ewok. So just wanted to explain that to Mark. Anyway, keep going, boss.
No. Good. I think, like I said, I do like. I think it's an interesting episode. I like it. Okay, for sure. By the way, always should give a shout out to seeing our. Oh man, now I'm forgetting his name. Our buddy, Dr. Hewer from Buck Rogers, being on this episode. Tim O'Connor.
Tim O'Connor. Yeah, he is amazing in this role. What a great actor he is.
Yeah, I love Dr. Hewer.
Yeah. He's such a great actor in this, and the costuming, my goodness. The costume that he wears, it's Brian. His costume is sensational.
And it looked like the original series with that thing on his head. You know, I mean, really the costuming in this episode for that especially kind of reminded me of it felt like a callback for the original series. So I never really thought much. I never really got crazy about the story or anything, so I don't trust myself. But her, I don't know. It could have been, what was it, 42 minutes? 42 minutes of just hanging out with Famke Janssen. I could have been okay. Even Wesley could have been in it, and I wouldn't have cared.
Well, I can tell you this: the new fans hate this episode,
Really?
and I'm totally against that for many reasons, academic and personal reasons. So I'm actually over the moon for this episode.
Go for the notes then. Go for your notes.
Yeah, I love this episode. Okay, so I have extensive notes. It's probably because it's, I think it's important to realize that women, we're not a monolith. We all have different opinions about how we feel about certain issues. And so I just wanted to express mine, if that's okay.
Please do. Go for it.
Jansen, remember, I don't read the block text, so sometimes there's stuff that overlaps. Jansen was to play Jadzia. This is where Trills get their spots. Poopy Stew liked this episode. And it's very important that you say that Poopy Stew liked this episode, because remember, Poopy Stew has been trying to sort of rewrite history and say that he was fighting against sexism, that he wanted this and that and the other, that, Livingston was animal cruelty. He hated the uniforms and so on and so forth. So it's very important. Please hang on to this little nugget for the Clawbony. Patty Stew, Poopy Stew, liked this episode. New fans find this episode demeaning to women and all of Star Trek. They call it a step back. However, this episode reminds me of Elan of Troyes, which is, of course, Season 3, Episode 13 of TOS. Kamala is more than just a piece of tail here. She's brilliant. She's beautiful. Think Memoirs of a Geisha, or Geisha, however you want to say it, wherever you are in the world, Geisha. In the real world, arranged marriages are common, and women and men are traded to improve relations and bank accounts. It's real life, especially in the case of royalty. This is a sexy episode, and it's lovely to watch. And I also put, the dirty, dirty Decker unit. He's got to get his digs in there everywhere, every time, and has to go to the holodeck after swallowing face.
I don't think I can blame him. I'm sorry.
It's quite cheeky that he does that, that he has to go and relieve himself after he swallows poor Kamala's face. Anyways, he probably had to do it in real life as well, had to leave the stage.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. And then I wrote, she frightens Picard. And then my husband said, that he wanted me to include this in my notes. My husband wants you all to know that when Kamala enters 10 forward, it is the same way, and she's with Data. It's the same way that he feels when he takes me to the bar. And I thought that was so sweet that he said that when we go to the pub, that men have the same reaction to me. I thought that was really kind. I love my husband very much. And then I wrote in
Mhm.
my notes, the Wharf Exchange is hysterical. I love when she growls at him
That
as
was
though
funny.
she can swallow him whole. She's
That was funny.
ferocious, and she's fully in control. It's just marvelous. And then he turns around and catches himself, yeah. And then I said, my husband Andrew says Picard's response to Kamala proves that J.T. Kirk is the only captain. J.T. Kirk will always be the superior captain.
True.
That is
Yes.
a comment from my
Well
husband
said,
Andrew.
husband.
He says then my husband did his best impression of Kirk betting Kamala. So my husband did a little mini play of what would happen if Kirk met Kamala.
Yes,
And
I can imagine.
and then I put underneath a quote from the episode, "Nothing lies beneath. I'm really quite dull." And I was thinking to myself, yes,
Yes,
you are
you
quite
are.
dull.
Kirk
Um,
could have been all over. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, yeah, please interrupt me. I don't
No, no,
mind
no.
at all. I love you. I was in debate and I teach rhetoric. I love being interrupted.
No.
It's not a sign of disrespect when it's coming from you, Claudia. It's layers of friendship and ideas. So interrupt me whenever you want. I love you. Um, my final comment in my notes was it is cowardly to dismiss this episode as regressive sexism. This situation exists all over the world. And like I was saying earlier with arranged marriages and who are we to be prejudiced against the idea of geisha or geishas? And it isn't always about oppression. Arranged marriages are complicated. This keeps that dialogue going despite North American prejudices and North American preconceived notions of feminism. And that is all I have to say about The Perfect Mate.
Excellent. Well, in that case, why don't you give us your rating of the perfect mate?
For me, it is an A plus. It's beautiful. This is exactly what Star Trek is all about. It's getting at a difficult issue. I really love, when you're talking about the Devil's Due and how you get the mood, the feel that you're on TOS. I agree with you, Claudia. But when I am watching The Perfect Mate, I am feeling true TOS. We have this raw sex appeal where the woman is the voracious appetite, where she is the one who is in control, and the men better get down and lick the boot or whatever however you want to put it. It's an exaggeration of this beautiful sensuality and power. This idea that we don't control what other people see as feminism or power. That it's not necessarily oppression. That she's absolutely effing brilliant. She's gorgeous to look at, and it shows us how weak and non-sexy this captain is compared to our captain, Captain Kirk. So I love everything about this episode. For
Wow.
me, this is
Nice.
perfection. This is gorgeous Star Trek. This is the sexy science fiction I want to watch. This is science fiction. This is sexy. This is TOS. This is delicious, and it's an A plus.
Wow. Well, excellent. Excellent. I mean, I never knew you. I mean, I liked it for sure. I got it at a B plus myself because it's a really good, solid episode. But that's high praise for me.
Yes,
So
yes.
I
Normally, I
like it
don't
a
give
lot. Hmm?
ratings this high, but Famke
No, that's all right.
is beautiful. And if you're going to go out
Oh,
and
I'm
say that this is regressive Star Trek, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be very aggressive in taking apart what you're saying because not all women feel that way.
right.
Not all women
Absolutely.
do. Yeah.
Chat. Now proceed with your ratings and any statements you may have about the perfect mate. The word is given.
Yes, and
Yes.
please make sure that you put your rating first so that I can see it quite easily because it's going to be a big dump of reviews. Thank you,
Right.
beautiful people.
Yes, indeed. And after Raquel gets some of those stored up, we'll go for it. Yeah, I don't trust myself with this episode. She is a mesmerizing woman, and I've always loved her in everything I've seen her in. And she's even good in those stupid X-Men movies, which are not all that good, but she's
Yeah.
good. She was a Bond baddie as well. So when you get a few of those collected up there, I will start to get some. While you're doing that, I will start getting some reviews done. What do you think?
Yes, please do. I'm just going to totally focus on this beautiful chat with all these gorgeous comments so that I make sure I don't miss any, especially because the chat is totally not the chat, the people. The chat, the mechanism is acting up a bit tonight.
Oh, is it? Yep. Well, I got you. Cardinal Sin with a $10 super chat, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow, he says. Wow, I remember how smoking hot she was. Sorry, I'm an unabashed toxic male. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Gil, I'm disappointed in you. Go to your room. Gil said, I got to go to the holodeck, folks. You'll find me at the holodeck. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Cardinal Sin.
Yes.
Mega Cropper says a B. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Eric Carroll says, I'm not attracted to tall women, so C plus. Is she tall? She's just taller than him.
He's just short.
Yeah, everybody's taller than Patty Stu.
Yeah, everyone's taller than Patty.
And her hair is way up there. She's, I've never met her, but I know she's nowhere near as tall as me. I like tall women anyway, but I'm just saying, yes, I'm a fan of. I do like being taller than a woman. I can't help it. I'm sorry, that's an evil toxic male thing. But tall, if they're hot, what is the difference if they're hot? Especially, okay. JG Kirk says B plus, the perfect costume, the perfect actress, the perfect mate. Yeah. We all know Decker unit wanted to open another man's gift, but if you give it Spurbies, it is not eligible for Amazon's return policy. Oh, man. Eric K says B. Famke was stunning as always. Easy to believe all would fall for her. Yes. Famke and P hard, please. At least Decker did not use his unit. Why was security not always watching Ferengi?
Yes,
that's a very good point.
That's a very good point.
I throw their ass in the brig, but he should have at least had a guard outside there. That was really dumb. But the Enterprise has always been really stupid with security on that show. So yeah, I agree with that for sure. And let's face it, we were not going to get through a review of this episode without some tawdry humor. Wasn't going to happen. Hungry Boy says B. One of my Irish ancestors was labeled as cargo when she was exported to Australia. So my heart was with Kamala from the get-go.
Aww.
Let's see here. It's Famke. When she was young and hungry and making her bones in media. Famke, extra Dutch hub points.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so in love with her. Okay, I gotta admit it. I mean, as they said in Rain's World, folks, she will be mine. Oh yes, she will be mine. Let's see here. Where's the other hungry boy? Oh, there we go. I had Lebanese pals in Sydney Catholic school whose families arranged marriages, and old Gaelic culture had arranged marriages. So mixed feelings there.
Yes.
Let me find his.
I love Hungry Boy. He always brings the adult conversation.
Yes. I like him even though he's an adult, because I'm not a big fan of adults. Personally, Hungry Boy's okay for an adult. Hey, she just insulted you by calling you an adult. Sorry. Though I loved the workaround with Data. Yeah, that was kind of funny. She had to walk around with Data. I like that part. And the pheromone pseudoscience. This smacked of Thirsty Stew sticking his egghead into the writer's room.
Yes, this is true. Boss man, may I please interrupt? I beg your pardon. I'm just going to put something on the screen, and I'm just going to read it. It's our LT and Mrs. LT. Our chief of security. Can we just get him up here? And
yes.
I just want to put this one
up.
I'm
going to read his review.
Gotta run, everyone. Stay safe. Be well. Enjoy your Saturday night. Good times on Clobbering Times. And Raquel, everything secure, Captain and XO.
Thank you, buddy. I'm going to read your review right now, but go ahead.
We are. We love you. Thank you so much for that.
Mrs. LT and LT, lovely to have you here. Thank you, my good friends. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Here's the review from the Lord Thought. Avon lives and long live the Legion, buddy. B plus. Famke makes me smile warmly.
Yes.
Jean. GD Jean. Good to see Buck Rogers actor. Yeah, I think he mean Tim O'Connor. My favorite race, Trill Spots. Yeah, I was wondering about the Trill Spots. I've not having seen this one for a while. This episode, nostalgic, good time. Enjoyed it. Fun Picard ep with a large moral question. Call back to TOS. That was, yeah. Again, I'm with you there. Mr. Tickle Trunk says B minus. I liked the unique concept, but the entire story would have been moot if they simply locked her away in a room, to uphold the Prime Directive, make it a hard to take seriously. Well, she's tough to resist, buddy, but I understand you. Picard out of character indulges without an understanding that he's imprinting himself and ruining everything.
Yes.
Was that supposed to be a twist or surprise? I would have loved more conflict.
That is a very good point.
Let's see here. Hang on. Let me get your next one. Let's see here. Points for trying. Excuse me. But Riker, the walking Horgon, is the one to take her. Is the one to take her to her room. There's another good point. Cartoon level harassers at the bar. That was what were those people doing on the Enterprise? I know they had to find an excuse for that scene, but
yeah,
at least it didn't end in the cliche of a dumb barroom fight. That's what I thought. Of course,
I can't fault this episode, you guys. I just genuinely like it, and
Nothing
I'm
wrong
not
with
someone who lies. Eventually, like I'm gonna like some stuff you guys don't like. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What are you sorry about? Have you ever been paying attention to this show for the year we've been doing it? We always, how many times have I liked stuff and I'm like, oh God, everybody doesn't agree with me. Who cares? They got you. I love your enthusiasm for this episode. I mean, it's a good episode. I mean, I guess if it were everyone thought it was horrible and then you thought it was the greatest thing ever, or vice versa. If you thought it was like one of those poopy emoji like one of those Claboni episodes, but somebody was saying it was the best thing ever. But we're not that far apart. No, we're good. Walking Horgon.
It's true.
This started an interesting exploration of limits of cultural acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. 4. Famke was great. There was a potential between her and Troy comparing notes not explored. The talk about the Prime Directive at breakfast should have carried throughout much more pronounced. And finally, for Mr. Tickle Trunk, he says adult concept written by teenagers, in my opinion. Wow. Mm-hmm. Why not talk about how a couple changes over time? Ooh. I would love an adult conversation about realistic male and female social dynamics.
Good evening, James Caserta, and welcome.
Oh, welcome, James Caserta. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Pleasant Valley says no rating. I can't remember this one. Need to rewatch. Sounds interesting. Lick the boot, only the boot. Well, there you go.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think that some of this is like drooly guy, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, are we gonna be? Is this what we're gonna be now? We're gonna be so like, I don't know, flat and unimaginative and unpassionate that we always have to be on and act as though nothing affects us. I don't know. For me, living in 2022, this feels like a big release to me and makes me feel so happy this episode.
Good. I'm glad. I've never heard anyone that really hated it, but I don't know. Maybe but you talked about these new fans of which you speak. Of whom you speak, I know them not. And to call him Scuba, Pete says, comma, chameleon. Oh, as she comes and goes, Picard, Earl Grey, and you're hot. Loved this sex-charged rump of an episode. He gave it to A++++.
Can I give Scuba Pete an A+ back?
Yes.
Awesome puns.
He is an awesome plusser.
He's puntastic, punnerific, pun time.
Cardinal says that I don't believe in absolutes. A+ is reserved for the perfect episode, but I give it an A. Well, that's fair enough. Do you believe in degree absolute? And as a Prisoner fan, and you don't catch that one, I'm gonna have to punish you.
You're going to the village.
Well, he just reviewed that one. He'll know what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Michael Beacom says B.
Mhm.
Alana Troyes 2, Electric Boogaloo. I can't. You can't say anything too without me saying Electric Boogaloo. It's a habit. Sorry. The minute Picard says her, sees her, it should have been Mr. Data. You are now her bodyguard. Confine
Mhm.
her. Phaser set to stun, and Riker doesn't get within 100 meters of her. I'm with you there, sir.
And the way he swallows her face, it's just ridiculous. How do you get out from underneath that?
I don't know. But no, Captain Stodgy lets her roam all over the ship. Brilliant should flash forward to Picard explaining to Starfleet how the mutiny was touched off. Still like the character interaction. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see here. Now we have Neuron, by the way, Neuron and Axamanda Bear says, I give it a C, but too melodramatic for me, maybe. Fair
That's
enough.
okay. I respect that.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Angel, on the other hand, gives it an A. Good story. Really good story. Why modern feminist fans find it a crime to be sexy? Well, you answered your own question right there with that statement. Smart, interesting, and entertaining. Smells a lot like jealousy. Yes, I know I am a fossil, but I don't care, nor should
Love
you,
you, Chef.
Chef. Now we have our great friend, Enigmatic Drop Bear. If you would do the honors, number one.
Well, hello, Enigmatic Drop Bear. Your performance this evening has been exemplary.
As always.
1 of 4. He's giving this an F. He says, "Was this script contrived from a Love Boat episode with the Enterprise playing the Pacific Princess and Picard playing Captain Stubing with a Lolita complex?"
Yes, I've confirmed this with IMDb. No, sorry. It's a rhetorical question. Sorry.
2 of 4. An allegory about the subjugation of an individual's liberties is a fine basis for a story. So how on earth did they get this so wrong?
Wow.
3 of 4. They effectively made the case for Kamala's incarceration by demonstrating that the ship's crew could not be trusted, thus validating the actions of the Creosians and the Voltees as righteous. 4 of 4. Putting this disgraceful depiction aside, the episode is an excellent candidate for cliche bingo.
I like that term.
Oh,
You rock.
Hey, you put on your flame-proof suit because the Enigmatic Drop Bear has a flamethrower tonight.
Even you and the ED can disagree sometimes. It's okay. We'll survive. So.
It's true because ED and I agree on almost everything. It was about time we disagreed on something. Otherwise, people would begin to wonder.
If you're the same, because I've often said I've never seen Raquel or Enigmatic Drop Bear in the same place.
Yes.
Remember, like you say about Clark Kent and Superman all the time?
Yes. So. And also, I don't speak German.
Cardinal Sin with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Actually, she's probably standing on a half apple in this scene. I don't know. He is short. They would want to make him look even shorter. He might be standing on a crate.
D. Bud Martin would just like to say that Kirk never had ED. I love you, D. Bud Martin.
Thank you, D. Bud. James Cassera says F on everything.
Okay,
everything like the whole universe or just this episode?
Yeah, James is just done.
He's look. I guess I have to go along with that. F on everything. What the hell? The whole universe. Go. Away. Thank you, James. Good to see you, by the way. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, RAQUEL, thank you for talking about the subject like it deserves. And adults talking honestly about male and female dynamics is a breath of fresh air.
And Mr. Tickle Trunk, that's probably why I gave it such a high rating. In the 90s, I might not have given it such a high rating. I might have agreed with everyone who was like, that's sexist. But that's not where I'm at right now. It's 2022, and everyone is so hyper sensitive and so overly raw, emotionally raw, and terrified to even have a little bit of fun. And it felt so good to be able to have a little bit of fun. I've been watching this episode since 1992. It's important for me to say that. And in 2022, this is an A+ for me. Speaking of sexy, Six just walks through the door. Everyone, say hello to Six.
6. The lovely Six. I hope you were doing well, my dear. I can't see the current chat, so I haven't. But it is wonderful to see or to hear that you are here, my dear. I hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Okay, Phantom Outsider says A for Famka, but B for the episode. Going forward, you got to feel sorry for her. What with adapting to a guy whose sole purpose later in life is to apologize profusely for everything. Meaning P. Hard, of course.
So in other words, she was set to marry or set to bond with a Canadian. sorry.
The arranged marriage is fine. There are many cultures. There are many cultures. What happened to tolerance and diversity? Yeah, Picard even says that in the episode. Also, why did they need to be in the same room? Video conferencing should be readily available. I don't know, sir. Snail Messiah says arranged marriages are never a good thing. If we say we can't judge, then it's simply cultural relativism, which the SJWs love.
And I started this because I wanted to let you know right now, Snail Messiah, that that's absolutely not the case in my case, because my Greek parents were married through an arranged marriage. So when you say we, you must be speaking about yourself and possibly the mouse in your pocket, because I am absolutely speaking from experience. And yeah, but thanks for that.
Let's see here. Cardinal Sin, thank you so much, buddy, for that $20 super chat. You were too kind, my friend. Thank you. I'm honored. You say, I, for one, was happy to see that sexuality had not been stifled in TNG, even though it wasn't PC then, and it's not PC now. Cardinal Sin, well said. Thank you so much, buddy. And again, I appreciate that you are too kind and too generous, sir.
Cardinal Sin says, or the royal we. That is very, very cheeky, and I love that reply, Cardi.
Kal-El says A+. Wow, he loved this one like you did.
Yeah.
This episode did an excellent job with its commentary on the rights of an individual, although it was from the perspective of an alien culture. It was disturbing how the Creosians, that's right?
Mm-hmm.
Could normalize treating a sentient being as property so easily. I'm not sure if I could have resisted Kamala's advances as well as Picard ultimately did. So kudos to the character for that. I'm glad that Picard, even though well-intentioned, did succeed in rescuing Kamala from a role that the character was born to fulfill, adhering not only to the Prime Directive, but also respecting her wishes as an individual. For Picard to have done otherwise and forced the rescue would have been highly hypocritical. Just an incredibly well done episode.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Totally agree.
Most of the episodes, we've had some. This has been an interesting one. We've had some splits, but most of them have been on the high side rather than the low side.
Well, the thing is people even on the low side, I probably would have agreed to with them wholeheartedly. I'd probably be asking you to break out the Clawboni right now if it were any space between 1992 and now. But we are in this space now, and wow, it just felt good to watch this episode and to feel something sexy and fun and a little intriguing and a little bit pushing you a little bit to realize that there are other cultures other than your own, and this idea of who's really in charge, who really has power over this sexuality and all these ideas. And so for me in this space right now, felt so good. I just want to enjoy myself again when I watch TV. Can I please just enjoy myself again?
I think we all want that. We all want to be able to enjoy ourselves there. So now we have, I think the caboose is finally here. Let's see here. By the way, there we go. So we're just trying to find. We have Mark D with the C, our chief engineer, who is here, I believe, for our final review of the evening. All right, there we go. Okay, just making sure. All right. A-. Jean Grey really makes it hard to give this episode a fair rating. Yes, she does. Gets a minus because she is not a redhead. Yeah, I love her. She makes a wonderful redhead. She does. And that's Jean Grey. Kirk would have gotten her to imprint within 5 minutes. It took Picard 5 days.
You sound like Andrew.
We are guys. We love Kirk.
Oh
Picard's a wuss.
no! Oh no! Stop the presses! I'm so
What?
sorry for interrupting you, Captain.
Yeah.
But one of our favorite people, Mr. Tickletrunk, he has to leave. He's like, I
Oh.
have to run. Have a good night, everyone. LLAP. Mr. Tickletrunk. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for all of your amazing
Tickletrunk.
comments.
Thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate you and your contributions and so much, man. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next Saturday.
Kamala, we learned so quickly what simulates a man that the second time's even better than the first. Okay. So there was a plot in this one. I need to take a mud bath. Dude, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, boy?
That was great.
Oh, what in the hell is the matter with you?
That was terrific.
My goodness, this how he's so bad. Well, look what we've done. We've knocked out another 4. I don't know what our next ones are, but we've knocked out another 4.
Oh, let me get this up on the screen.
Okay, there we go, right there. And that communications officer is very efficient.
Oh,
So next week, folks, imaginary friend. Well, first we have an episode called Next Week. No, I'm just kidding. Imaginary friend, Borg, the next phase, and the inner light. And our chief engineers here, we both added them at the same
we do that sometimes.
Hey, everyone! Yeah, I was naughty tonight. Yeah, that was a fun review. Yep.
Thank you, man.
Though.
Yeah, we gotta have fun with stuff sometimes, right?
You do.
Yeah,
I just want to have fun. And I also, can I just say that when Andrew said, "Oh, it's like taking you to the pub. It's like going out in public with you."
Yeah.
Well, as flattering as that is, and talking about our life, I have to say I really miss going out and just hanging out with people, and I can't wait until we get back to doing that again. I really want to get back to doing that again now.
JT Kirk, there's a good question. We'll probably hash it out by next week. How many episodes remain after that in season 6? I don't know. If someone knows, I mean, in season 5, we'll make that determination when we'll have to figure out how many episodes we have left. And we'll probably do something similar to James Caserta, Hillary Bader, R.I.P. Is that a name of a comic book artist?
I have no idea.
Not sure who that is. Yeah.
I know there was an artist named Hillary Bader. I don't know.
I have no idea. Your communications officer has left you something at 16 minutes past the hour. It's to JT Kirk, but she just wants to explain.
We got to that will be the two-parter. Time Zero, part 1 and 2. Wait a minute. So the week after that, it's just going to be Time Zero. Because if that's the case, we could just do it like we did before. Do part 1 and part 2, and then review season 5, I guess.
What?
I'm curious about the condition of the comics when they arrived and what. I didn't get a chance to look at them closely, Sunil Masara, but they looked like they were in good condition. But I got a glance at them only, then I had to come and do the show. So. But they look like they were in nice shape. I'll if I can remember and go right down. I have to go look at them right after the show, and maybe I can email you. But again, thank you so much for that.
Look at what James has put right underneath Snail Messiah.
She was the writer. Okay,
I
Snail.
did not know that, James Caserta.
I didn't. I wasn't familiar.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
Thank you, James. Well, everyone, let's see. We will.
Oh my gosh!
Cardinal Sin.
Cardinal Sin.
What is he doing?
Oh, sweetheart. This
dude,
is so nice of you for my Clobby. I love you so much, Gil. Thank you.
This is a tough one, but I mean, you could have asked that anyway. I mean, but all I can say is thank you, Cardinal Sin. I am flabbergasted by that $100 super chat. You're too kind, sir. I don't know what to say, but other than to honor your wishes. And, I don't know if everyone wants to answer, but let me see here. He says, Cardinal Sin says, I realize that this is an unfair question. That's not that bad, though.
No,
But I'd like to ask each member of the panel, what is your favorite TOS episode? And TOS episode, that's easy.
that's easy.
And what is your favorite TNG episode? Okay, that's a little bit not as quite as easy,
Not
but
quite
that's
as easy.
all right. Anyone who ever who just put the episode names of both, and we'll star them. And I'll get mine from my two friends here, and then I will give you mine. So, my wonderful first officer, what is your favorite TOS episode, and then TNG episode?
You know my first favorite.
Oh, I know your TOS, but they don't.
TOS for sure for me is The Cage.
Mhm.
TOS The Cage is absolutely astonishingly beautiful television. It's from my childhood. It changed everything for me. Where No Man Has Gone Before also changed the shape of Earth for me. Devil in the Dark. These are profoundly uh, earth shaking episodes that changed my life forever. And as far as TNG goes, I moved back and forth between 1987 to now. I've been such a different person, and the world has been such a different place. But I can answer you this here and today, that what I'm probably craving to watch the most this year will be The Inner Light, and it's because I just
Oh,
feel like
that's
we
coming
need
up.
more hope. I just want to have some hope, and something to look forward to, and just the goodness that is inside of us that we're able to share with others, and to do it earnestly. And so I'm going to answer The Inner Light for that. And thank you for the beautiful question, and for supporting one of my best friends in the whole world. Your generous gift means the world to me. I just cannot thank you enough. Thank you, Gil.
Gil, thank you so much. You're too kind. Um, Mark, my first
Oh, this
officer.
is
I mean, my
tough ones,
chief
tough ones.
engineer. Sorry. Star any episode you see in there, Raquel. I'm getting a link for something here for you.
Okay, boss.
So
Um,
I would say what TOS Galileo 7. Maybe that's an unusual pick, but I just love Spock in command and
love it.
learning what it means to be
Great
in
episode.
charge, and learning, as humanity comes through in the end, and that's what makes him such a fantastic character, because he's not all Vulcan. He embraces that half humanity, even though he won't admit it in the end. So I just love that episode, and just can watch that over and over. Although Devil in the Dark and of course the Doomsday Machine are close up there, but Galileo 7, if I have to pick an episode to watch, that would be it.
Mm-hmm.
And for TNG, the obvious choice is, which I won't go with, would be, the Borg, Best of Both Worlds. But I think, for an episode that means a lot, like the Inner Light, like Raquel said, I think Measure of a Man, which explores what it means to be human. And it kind of saves you from the beginning of, those horrible episodes in the first two seasons. I think that was a second season episode, but that's just a wonderful episode. It's a bottle episode, courtroom drama, no expensive sci-fi, special effects, but God, that episode makes you think, and just really shows what Star Trek's all about, IDIC, and Data is a sentient being who deserves rights and needs to be protected, and that's what's so wonderful about the show, that it illuminates humanity through someone who's really not human, right? Someone who's an alien, or an alien life form,
Yeah.
but he's got that special thing about him. He's got sentient thought, and God, you end up loving that character. At first, I thought he was just going to be a horrible clone of Spock, but it really was an original character, and was fantastic. So those are my two go to episodes. And thanks for that,
Well,
Cardinal. Yep.
thank you, Cardinal. My favorite episode of the original series is very easy for me, Gil. It's the Mirror. I guess that comes from being a comic book geek who loves all those multi universe type crap, parallel universe stuff. Jerome Bixby's brilliant story. Everything about it. I've watched. Of course, there are many episodes I could say this about. I've watched it so many times. But But Mira Mira is clear cut my all time favorite, and that's against some great competition. I just love it.
Yeah.
It always has been my favorite since I first saw it. TNG gets a little tougher for me to choose one. I probably would go with. I'm one of those. I know it doesn't. It's not as brilliant as some of the other ones, but Relics is one that's important to me just because I really love how entertaining it is with Scotty. We're getting to that one soon. But I would have to say, if I have to pick one, I would probably pick Measure of a Man. Even though Who Watches the Watchers is pretty close to it.
Who Watches the Watchers is pretty outstanding.
Yeah. So it's tough to just, like I say, I can mention Mira Mira and not even blink. The other ones I'm kind of vacillate a little bit. I liked I don't know. I mean, I loved a lot of them. I loved. I thought, oh man, there's so many. It's tougher with Next Gen for me.
It is.
So let's take a look at some of the ones you all mentioned, and I hope we got everybody.
I hope so too. I was sort of sorting through them because everyone was sharing with one another.
Our wonderful communications officer, Antiderivative Jill, says, "Devil in the Dark." That's a topper for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's my third best of all time. It will.
So
I don't think I'll ever allow Devil in the Dark to fall below third.
Oh,
I mean, it's always
yes.
going to be The Cage, Where No Man Has Gone Before, and then Devil in the Dark for me.
If it's not my 5, it's right up there. It's up there. Yes,
Oh,
LT.
no. Boss man, the chef has to leave. He says, apologies, everyone. It's daybreak.
Okay.
And I have to
Oh,
make
shit.
a very elaborate breakfast for 10 people. Thank you all for the fun, and I'll see you all next week. Chef, mwah,
Yes.
mwah, mwah.
Thank you so
much. Good
Here,
night,
Mr.
honey.
Angel. I could use some eggs Benedict.
All right, Mr. Angel, thank you so much. For TNG, Jill picks The Offspring. That's a nice choice as well, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
That is an excellent one. Eric Carroll says, let's see, Bread and Circuses
Yeah.
for TOS
Yeah.
and Cause and Effect, which we talked about tonight. Wow, it's right. You did say that was your favorite. Oh, there you go, Eric. And I love Bread and Circuses, so you won't get a peek out of me.
Yeah.
I've always loved that episode. I think we had a lot of fun talking about it when we reviewed that last year. So thank you, Eric Carroll, for that. And look, good choices. James Caserta says Savage Curtain and Clues. Okay. Well, thank you, James. Appreciate that. You're an ex-Calbian fan and probably an Abraham Lincoln fan, I would guess.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, I'm interested in knowing some of these because I like hearing people's favorite episodes. Enigmatic Drop Bear says, let's see here. My favorites are Devil in the Dark, great choice, and The Osprey TNG. The Measure of the Man is up there with it. So you also have this. So interesting. ED and Jill have the same favorites of both shows. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And
both have good taste.
Great answer. Yes, they do. Let's see here. By the way, tell us yours, Gil. Don't leave us in suspense now.
Yeah.
Enigmatic Drop Bear says, I love Interlight too, Raquel. We're back on the same page. Yeah, we're back on the. Yeah, you never left the same page, of course. There. Kal-El, Space Seed. Great one. Great choice. And the Integrate. Great. I love both of those, Kal-El. Nice. Nice choices, man. D-Bud says, the Doomsday Machine, greatness. Best of both worlds. Great one. Great choices. Nice. Platinum Outsider says, I like Charlie X. Well, I love it too. I love that one. But it's a bias. We have the same birthday. Okay, but I'm older, and since I'm non-corporeal, good luck to the Thasians and trying to corral me anytime soon. Well,
Did you read Kal-El's yet? I'm sorry.
I don't. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
I saw it unstarred. Sorry
That
about
was
that,
good.
everyone.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to read all of the comments and figure out where your choices are. So I beg your pardon. I
No
just
problem,
wanted to
no
make
problem.
sure that we read that one off because I really liked his choices. I thought his choices were very good. The Nth Degree is a very strong
I love
TNG
that
episode.
one. And definitely check out, if you have not already, please go to Cardinal Sen's channel and check it out. And so like and subscribe. We'll subscribe to his channel and watch his videos. He has a great channel over there. And thank you for that, D-Bud. Let's see here. Scuba Feet says, my favorite episode is Alternative Factor, and Lazarus was the best. Oh, wait, I went Mirror Mirror.
Hey, Dadman Clan just walked through the door.
Dead man!
Hello, sweet family.
Hey, Dad Man.
What you doing, dude?
Playing Fortnite, I think.
Is that what you're doing? Are we keeping you from Fortnite, man?
No, I'm guessing. Yeah, he was playing Fortnite, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm just joking. Either that or eating bacon.
Oh, because I don't want to keep you from Fortnite, man.
No. We don't have any Fortnite going tonight. Maybe later.
Bacon. So
I'm supposed to finish taking down the rest of the Star Trek ornaments from the tree that was
Are
still
you
up.
still have Christmas decorations up?
Yeah, I'm very bad. Yeah, I love Christmas.
What are you
so.
doing? It's nearly March. It's all. I already put up Valentine's Day decorations and took them down, and I'm about to put up the Irish flags.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a shin kick from Canada. Yeah, so
You're getting multiple shin kicks.
you know how many ornaments I have, so it takes
Yeah,
like 6
like
hours to
7
take
billion?
them off the tree. Yeah. Almost done.
Mega Crabber says lower decks. Lower decks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, from
Yeah,
TNG.
Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. And for a minute, I almost thought you were talking about that terrible cartoon, but I'm just kidding. Pleasant Valley says, TOS runners up Doomsday Machine, Balance of Terror, City Edge Forever. Well, they're great ones. Spectre the Gun, many more. Yep. Let's see. Okay.
City on the Edge of Forever for me. That's like number 5.
Oh, it's
My
number
number 5
5 as well. Phantom Outsider. I think Charlie X is a contender for the best episode of all of TOS. Well, I love that episode, so you won't get an argument out of me. It's a great one. So tough to pick a fave. JT Kirk, Space Seed, and then TNG, Chain of Command. Excellent. I think these are all we've got tonight. Other than this, the Phantom Outsider says, favorite TNG is one where Wesley gets slapped and stabbed. That'd be, yeah, there you go.
Well, actually, I posted that. Sorry about that video being way too long. So I did post it to my channel.
Problem.
So here, I'm going to put the link in. So people, after the show's over, if you want to go watch a minute and 45 seconds of Wesley getting slapped around. Thanks for that, Raquel.
Right.
So
I don't know that it was too long. It just felt like it was going.
Yeah, no, I went overboard. So, but as I always do, but I put it through the upload, so it said there were knock on wood.
It's not that I cared about the time. I was worried that we would get in trouble for having something that lasted a video going that long, which we're probably going to get. I probably will get demonetized for that.
But it's going to check the it checked the when you upload it checks the copyright stuff. So it said it was okay. So
what did? Oh,
when I uploaded it to my channel, so I just put a link.
So you think we might be all right?
Oh yeah, it'll be all right. No, but it's just tell people to watch it on my channel. That way you don't have to worry about it being in the live stream, and it's there. They can watch it. There. Yep, it's in there. Yep. So
Cardinal Sin says, "Clobbering Times. This honestly has been my favorite live stream of the week." Well, thank you so much, man. Thanks to you, number one, and your communications officer for a great night's entertainment. Gil, you are too kind, buddy. I cannot thank you enough for all those wonderful contributions and just having you hang out with us, man. And you're always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Just great. And one of these days, who knows? Get you come over on one of my Wednesday night shows when you're not busy. You can hang out with me. We'll talk some Trek and whatever. And I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah.
Over here. Let's see. Thank you so much, Cardinal. I'm speechless.
Thank you,
The world wishes I was speechless. Let's put it like that. Nim says, gone off TNG a lot since the cast mostly went all horrible.
Yep.
I struggle to separate the fantasy from their in real life nonsense. Can't blame you. It's like they tainted their own legacy. TOS has become more loved.
Yep.
Number one, Devil in the Dark. Well, it's just a beautiful episode.
Love you. Totally agree.
Pleasant Valley says, repost. Favorite TNG is Easy, The Inner Light. That's next week, by the way. TOS probably Mira, Spock with a beard, McCoy, Uhura, Scotty getting more screen time, Uhura being a badass, and that bear midriff. I just love the episode for all those reasons and many more. J25, Devil in the Dark, Balance of Terror are both up there for me. TNG, Measure of a Man, Data's Day for starters. Well, there you go.
Yep.
Excellent. Great pick, sir. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Let us... Yes, 6 it is. I wanted to do February. I couldn't because of certain things I had going on. But March, I'll have memberships. Thank you so much. If I'm
I love that she's pushing you to
You're
do
too
that
kind.
because I've been pushing him to do that as well.
Raquel,
so
did you
I love
pay
it.
six
Yeah.
buck to say that in the
Well,
chat?
I'm-
Just kidding.
No, Six and I are just of one mind.
One mind, yep.
oh
Yeah,
wait,
we're
yeah,
just good
wait.
pals.
There's a catch though, everyone. Only 6 is allowed to join,
Oh, don't say that.
so it'll be membership actually.
No, everyone will be
Well-
allowed to join, and we're going to have
Right.
some really cool incentives for it for members. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Six, I'm winking at you and sending you a hug because I just love you. Thank you.
Put me on the spot there, 6, but I love you.
I know.
Well,
I
the
think
Gold
it's
Press
great.
Latinum
She
level.
calls you on it.
Can we
She is
send you
just
Gold
a-
Press Platinum, Clubby?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
As long as it's nice and platinumy and goldy. Well, everyone, let's see here. Of course, we'll get out of here with some show notes. Please, if you have not already, check out the wonderful works of science fiction by my first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, who will now tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah, I just want to say, Gil, yes, March memberships, nice alliteration. That's exactly what we're going for. And Scuba Pete, you're hilarious. I write some modest little short stories. I'm just a lowly, independent short story writer. You can find them on your Kindle device or you can find them on Amazon. They're kind of like the Twilight Zone and Edgar Allan Poe. If the Twilight Zone and Edgar Allan Poe had a baby, that's kind of what my stories are like. So you can find them under R.M. Briggs.
Thank you so much.
Cardi, yes, I'll send you a virtual hug too. Of course, you can have a hug. Absolutely, you can have a hug.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight, Carter. You don't want a virtual hug from me? Okay,
Doesn't want to
say how
get
you are,
crushed.
dude.
You can bench press 100 tons, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I am made of rocks, so it'd be kind of crunchy. So you better. we love you here, Card.
Can I say that was stone cold? No, I'm not going to do that. Although Scuba Pete's smiling right now that I said
Teasing
that.
a little. Oh, by the way, everyone, before we get out of here, I want to shout. She didn't get here tonight. She's probably busy, but the wonderful Apollome's minion made this for me, and I wanted to show it to you all. This wonderful diamond dot painting that's made out of little bitty dots, and she's just a fantastic sweetheart. So look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
She sent that to me, and look how there it is with a couple of action figures. Just to give you an idea how big the picture is. That's pretty damn cool.
That's awesome, yeah.
Cardi
It's very
says that
special.
he'll take a hug from you too, but you need to be careful.
Oh, no, Scuba Pete.
Still
Taking
slap.
Clobby hugs for granted.
Oh, dude. All right.
That's awesome.
Just for that, right to the agony booth for you, sir. Your agonizer, please.
And
Since you go, George. I get the Bugs Bunny reference there.
Yes.
and
That's a great one.
since this is a Star Trek show, I got to mention. Unfortunately, I got to do a quick enabling bit. So the Star Trek communicator made by the One Company is back after 5 years of being
Yes.
off the market.
Put your video link in there.
So I'll put my video link. So sorry to cost people maybe $180, but if
It's
you want to
so
get that replica of
expensive.
the communicator, which is gorgeous, watch my
Right.
video.
And-
you can sign up for the mailing list to save 15%. But
Right. And please join us tomorrow night if there is some Sunday Night Geekery. Please tell everybody when they can do
Yep.
that.
Yep. Well, I'll have the show be on 11 p.m. Eastern, and it's a hangout with usually Clobby's there, and sometimes Raquel and a bunch of geeks and nerds, and Gil's there sometimes, and we just hang out and talk the events of the week, and sometimes sports ball when there's a big game. Not too often, but just as a
it's
fun
just geek
hangout.
Stuff. Don't lie to them. Don't tell
Yeah,
them
it's
that they
geek
won't come to
stuff.
visit.
Yeah,
Nothing but geekness.
geekness, yeah, all geekness. Yep. And
All
maybe Steve Mitchell. I don't want to impose, but hopefully Steve Mitchell will be making it back sometime
You know,
soon too.
he
So
stayed on the show for quite a while tonight.
Yep.
So I think he's
Yep.
feeling better. But I'm sure when he was sick, he didn't have Maddie with him. So he was on daddy duty tonight and
Yep.
really wanted to be with his beautiful little daughter. And so I'm just happy that he was able to stop in and that he was feeling well enough to have his munchkin with him and to come and visit us. So I hope he's feeling better. Poor
Yep.
Steve.
Well, everyone, thank you so much. Well, one more show note before we get out of here. Monday night at a special time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the great Stone Loki will be joining me to review Justice League Doom, the DC animated film. That's on Monday night. Mark C. Comics Talk, and a little bit of a stink for all Trek fans. A little bit of a sneak peek. In a couple of months, we're going to have a Star Trek review special on Clobby's Clubhouse of a comic book of Star Trek: Dead of Honor. Soon, the three of us will review this comic, one of the most famous and most highly acclaimed Star Trek comics ever made. This graphic novel from the late 1980s. That's coming soon. Not yet. Maybe sometime in April or so, or May. Just to let you know. Why not talk about it on Star Trek? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Star Trek. Yep.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's say our goodbyes real quick. We'll get this done as fast as we can. Our shout outs. The Comic Relief Crusader was here.
Good night.
Your Muslim uncle was here earlier, my friend. I don't know if you're still out there, but everyone gets a shout out whether they're here or not. We're gonna go through them quickly.
And your mom. And have a wonderful week.
Yes, and have a wonderful week. The great Felicianos, Ariam and Sandra, Raymond and Sandra Feliciano, Dolphin TV. Please subscribe to their channel and go look at Raymond's books. They had to run though. The great J-Man, always great people.
J-Man!
We love the J-Man.
Speaking of good channels and nice people.
Great people there. D-Bud Martin, the Man of Iron, buddy. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
J25, thank you for being here tonight. LT and Mrs. LT, they had to run, but Avon lives, long live the Legion.
Yes.
Mark Lasserth was here, thank you.
Good night.
The great Canadian Wrench, Chris Persia.
Kalanita.
The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher, buddy. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. Pleasant Valley Picker, thank you so much.
Night, BC.
Phantom Outsider, appreciate you, buddy. Oh, thank you so much for that $3 super sticker, Jill. You are too kind.
What is it?
It's a cute little pup or wolf or some kind of furry little cute dude. Looks like a fox, maybe. Very cute.
Thank you, Jill. You were too kind. Cardinal Sin says, please be in touch. Having Peter Dawn. Hey, whenever you're happy, I will be happy to co-host that with you. Give me a little notice on it, and I'll be there. If I have to rearrange something, whatever it is, I just need a little notice because I'll be happy to be there if I'm home. And I can be home if I know, in enough advance there, Cardinal. So, dude, I would be honored. So just let me know when you keep in touch with me on it. You know how to reach me. So thank you. And I'm honored that you asked. The great Hungry Boy, buddy.
Yay!
The aforementioned and great Cardinal Sin. Thank you so much, bro.
Good night.
The wonderful and lovely Six. Thank you, Six.
Night, Six.
I got you, Cardinal. Any way you want to do it, bro. Oh, by the way, of course, we should always put her up there with the crew, the great anti-derivative Jill.
Yeah.
We love you, Jill. Jill, thank you so much for all the help. You've been amazing.
Great comments tonight.
The great Kal-El, buddy. Appreciate you, bud.
Have a good week.
Enigmatic Drop Bear, you have always so great here. We appreciate you, ED. Thank you. Mr. Angel had to run, but shout out to Mr. Angel.
Night, Chef.
Steve Mitchum, the aforementioned Steve Mitchum had to run. We love you, brother.
Yeah.
Take care, Steve.
Mazarus, I hope if you're not still out there, well, shout out to Mazarus.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry that YouTube was taking down your comments. It certainly wasn't from us. We definitely appreciate you. You've been a very good friend to me, Mazarus. So I hope I see you next week, and I'm sorry for the trouble. If we could control that, we definitely would.
Yawarski Pool Practice was here.
That guy.
Yeah, whoever that guy. Watch out for that weirdo. Yeah. Snail Messiah. Thank you so much again for that package. I will go take a look at more. The comics seem to be in good shape, but I'll go make sure and give it a double look when I can. Yeah. I promise. Thank you.
Fun. Have a good week, Snail Messiah.
Take care, Snail.
Tyrell 72.
Good night, Tyrell. Have a great week. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Captain James T. Skywalker. Thank you.
Good night.
Wolfie 762. Great to see you. Thank you so much. I believe he had to leave, but the great Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And great comments tonight. Thank you for your company.
Papa Delta Yankee, thank you for popping in. It was great to see you.
Papa Delta Yankee.
Shout out to Lee Anthony Davis, who I do believe popped in.
Good night.
Double C. Thank you, Double C, for being here tonight. Janet from another planet. We love you, Janet. Lovely.
Good night, Janet.
Good night, Janet.
Monkey Jeebus was show.
Monkey Jeebus!
And Rogue Disney.
Good night, Rogue.
And Eric Carroll. Thank you.
Good night, Eric.
Keely Chow. Roll Tide, buddy. Roll Tide. The great James T. Kirk. JT Kirk, I should say. JT, thank you, buddy.
Yep. Take care, JT.
The Catman, a.k.a. Dee Myers, my friend. I hope you and your lovely wife are well, buddy.
Agreed.
New person who was here, Harold Patterson. Thank you, Harold, for being here
Good night,
tonight.
Harold.
Night, Harold.
Nirlactanax Amanda Bear, buddy. Thank you.
Good night, Narod.
Darius Munchausen popped in for a second. The great Darius. Always
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Darius.
Just Joe, Jobber, buddy. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Good night.
Michael Beacom, I do believe, said he had to run, but Michael Beacom, thank you. Shout out. My old pal JD Lewis, thank you for popping in.
Night.
Cavicino, Cavalier Shea, thank you.
The Triple C.
Zathras. Crap. Roger Murtaugh, you tell Riggs hello for us.
Good night.
Mega Cropper, thank you, Mega.
Night, Mega.
Tim's Talk Buddy, thank you.
Good night.
Aravic Sandor, thank you.
Good night.
Bruce Lombardo, Bud.
And his wife, and his cutie patootie
girlfriend.
wife. They listen to us.
I think he said girlfriend there. Bruce
Oh,
Lombardo.
is it girlfriend?
I
Oh,
think he
I'm
said
sorry.
that.
Don't get him in
I'm
trouble.
not sure. I think he said that. Maybe I'm thinking someone else. But anyway, thank you, Bruce, and to your better half.
Yes.
Whatever kind of half it is.
The great
And
parent.
the fact that you guys made us made us your date night is so incredibly cool. And I just think that you are just the sweetest couple. And thank you for dropping in to let us know.
The great Parrothead popped in. Parrothead buddy, good to see you, man.
You better have a margarita.
And they called him Scuba Pete. How's it feel in that agony booth, Scuba Pete?
Scuba Pete! And Leslie! And all the great puns.
Yeah.
Love you, Scoob.
Zacharat.
Good night.
And we had a visit from no one who is someone to us, but he likes
Yeah.
to be no one.
No one. Good night, no one.
And
And James Caserta, thank you for being here tonight. It was good to see you.
good night.
And of course, last but not least, the great Dadman Walking 55 and the Dadman clan, Mrs. Dadman, and all you wonderful people out there.
Yes. And
So,
also,
thank
I
you.
love that Cardi said this in the chat. And so I have to say it back to him because, of course, now I love the prisoner thanks to Claudia. Be seeing you.
Be seeing you. Be seeing you. Or as they said in Free For All, Zazizitsun.
Ooh.
Remember that one? That episode, and we never even know. We still don't know what language that was, but she Zazizitsun. Zazizitsun. the girl from Free For All.
Mm.
Well, let's see here. A buddy of mine used to like when we said that anyway. All right, everyone. Again, as always, shout a big tip of the hat to my beautiful and wonderful, magnificent first officer for this incredible intro, outro, and then a side to the hat of the great chief engineer who helped me get it here when I didn't know what to do with it and transferred it for us and all that stuff way back when. The intro, the outro, I called them both. So until next time, clobber on, clobberers, and trek on, trekkerers. Good night,
Night,
everybody.
everyone.
The lovely Sherry!